Can I help you too? Okay, goofy dogs. Fucking horse, dude. Come on. There we go. There we go. Ah. Nice. Nice. You silly boy. What are you trying to do? Goofy dog. I love his attempt to like do what Jazzy does with the little like trying to rip jump shreds, but he just doesn't do any of it really. He's just like he doesn't really do it roughly. Well, now I kind of got it. Good boy, Beetle. You just immediately stopped to sniff my knee. And then they both walk away at the same time together. Jazzy, hey, I saw you go in the kitchen. What are you do? Hey. What were you getting into? I heard something. I heard you rummaging. Yeah, get up. Hey, your sis was being a little sneaker. Well, I was here no less, too. Yeah. Come on, buddy. Bring it over here. Come on, bud. He grabbed a totally different toy. He doesn't even know what toy to grab. Get it, Vito. What? I don't know what. Get him, Jazzy. Get him, Jazzy. Get each other. Wrestle for those toys. Goofy little beans. Get her, Vito. Get her, Vito. Oh. Oh, get her, Vito. I like how I say that, but Jazzy's the one that goes after him. Come on, Vito. Get Vito. Get her, Vito. Get her, Vito. Get him, Jazzy. Are you all just going to have a little showdown, a little stare down? Goofs. a showdown just like the little inflatable party animals. Nice. Honestly, I'm loving that. Like, we're having like a little inflatable animal party in Portland now. At this point, it's fucking awesome. Oh, I gotta find a fucking YouTube short that I think is just goddamn hilarious because of the contrast of the videos in Portland versus what the administration is saying. It is just fucking hilarious. It's just too goddamn good. You got these insurrectionists, war ravaged Portland, and you just have like a little DJ with a bunch of inflatable like frogs, raccoons, and bears and shit just dancing around being goofs. There was like a fucking Among Us inflatable suit person that was there too at one point. Someone's got the goddamn Among Us, shit out there, doing that. I'm like, wow. I love how, even though the protest is serious, we're not taking it seriously here. Mostly. It's taken mostly not very seriously. Actually, I want to get this charged up a little bit so that I can charge the other phone. So I can try to find some of it. Okay, some notifications of shit. There we go. Cool. Oh shit! Almost forgot to hit up one of my buddies about at least Saturday too to ask about like what his broader plans are to meet up, because I want to at least link up with him at some point and then see if we can, me and Phoebes at least can get a dual stream going, at least once we meet up, because I guarantee you that we're not going to meet like exactly where the rally is and shit, unless one of us is a little late or some shit, which if anything probably be me. But either way, I think it'll definitely be at least good to just make sure there's at least some sort of a game plan for that. And I suppose just in case, like if shit hits the fan, which who knows, then we can at least have like an escape plan in a sense of like we can meet here if we get split up if shit gets crazy. I mean, and considering how things have been around here, like I don't really expect it to get too fucking crazy, because like unlike back in 2020 when it came to these ICE protests here, one thing I've noticed is a tactic that hasn't really been used is bull rushing, which that tactic is basically they throw out a bunch of smoke and tear gas and then they charge you and arrest anyone that happens to be lingering around, basically, if they happen to be on the streets and shit. Now, if they're on the sidewalks or something, then it'll fuck off a few. But like beyond that, like I mean, that's kind of the broader tactic. But they haven't been doing that, honestly. So. If you're a pirate captain, your name would be Andy the Silverfang Husky, and your ship would be called the Flying Dankman. I feel like my name would be a little different. I think I'd just keep the Ignar part. Just be like the Nordic fucking pirate. Instead of Husky, I guess it maybe a wolf would be better too, because that'd be more of a known fierce animal, I guess, too. And I'm pretty sure Huskies aren't very common or like a normal like common dog breed in like the north and shit like that either at the time. I guess we're talking about in these days though, like in a modern sense. I mean, honestly, I would be going by a completely different pseudonym that has nothing to do, with my fucking like with my real name. So Andy would definitely not be anywhere near the pseudonym. Wolf isn't in his name. I know it ain't. When I first was a furry, I was, I initially started as a wolf. I was like, this is too generic. Granted, Husky's kind of art too, I guess, but whatever. I've been stuck with that for years now. So at this point, I'm just like, fuck it, I don't even care. Honestly, like if I can, like I'm dead ass, like I'm tempted if there's like an inflatable like Husky suit similar to these like inflatable party animal suits. I might unironically get one just for these protests because then that could be the husky one. Then you got the froggers, and then you got the chickens, and you got a few other little like forest critters and shit. I kind of dig it. I love it. I just love how we don't take it seriously here. It's amazing. One thing I've noticed too is that funny enough, at least on Phoebe streams, because I watch her shit a lot, too as well. There's been a lot of people on her streams thinking it's like, oh, I bet you live in Portland, huh? Or it's like, well, why don't you come to Portland and see how it looks like of how much of a shithole it is? And it's so funny because now she can flex and say that actually I'm not there, but I had a first eye perspective from someone on the ground there, me. And we definitely are gonna, do that more often kind of thing. So it's like even with the like, I bet you live in Portland, even with that, it's like, you dumb fuck. And even then, let's say she didn't, like, what would her place be to just assume what it's like over here, or for fucking anyone for that matter? Like, unless you're actually looking at like crime data and other statistics, and I don't know, just like asking various different people of the day-to-day life around here, like you're not going to get a real perspective. And even then, you're not going to get a true perspective unless you're actually like here a little bit. I mean, just dead ass. And that goes for anywhere. Like, I had a totally different assumption about Chicago until I spent like 4 fucking days there, 4 or 5 days there. And now it's one of my favorite fucking cities that I've been to, at least so far. So it's like, I mean, you can have an assumption about any fucking place, but you don't really know until you actually visited there, or at least have been there for a bit, even for a short time, even if it's for like like a week or less than a week. Like, you can kind of get a general idea about a place. The gamble is whether you're going to see the good or the bad parts of it, or maybe both. Especially if it's a metropolitan area, like whether it's Portland, Seattle, Chicago, New York, or any other major city. Yeah, you're gonna see, some of the bad parts and the good parts too. And yeah, when I was in Chicago, yeah, I saw some bad parts, like any other fucking place, any other city. You want to know what's interesting though? I find it, kind of curious that, in places like I was reading an article earlier today about Dallas, where there is a major gun crime problem, interesting enough, about these switches, for AR-15s and rifles and pistols and shit that are been circulating the market, which are very fucking illegal. And interesting enough, North Texas, especially Dallas right now, has a major fucking issue with that because, police departments, when they do certain busts of different things, they're noticing that there's a large stockpile of those to be sold and distributed. Interesting how there's a lot of genuine fucking violent crime and gun crime and all that other shit too, mostly in southern cities, places like in Texas, where, oh, it's these blue cities that have the fucking problem. Interesting how that works out. And, like, I wouldn't want the National Guard or fucking, any other Fed forces in Dallas or anywhere else, too. But if we're going to be fucking consistent here, maybe Trump should be looking at Dallas and Nashville and all these other fucking cities that are southern and actually have crime problems. Especially in just the states in general. Like, if you actually look at, like, a lot of crime stats, with red states and their cities vary depending on the state sometimes, but a lot of them are generally like the cities don't have as rampant problems of crime in versus other places like in the rural areas and shit like that. The main reason why is because a lot of people, tend, to go into major city areas, or either go to rural areas when it comes to either purchasing guns or doing illegal activities. And being in a rural area, let's say for drugs, is a lot easier to get away with than being in the city. Now, if you get caught, you're pretty much fucked. But, like, at least in the city, even if you're almost caught, you probably won't unless you're just being that fucking brazen about it. But, like, in the rural areas, you got to be a lot more discreet, but it's a lot easier to get away with it. But, you're likely to get caught way more, despite the easy factor around it. And that's just one factor to it. And the reason why I know is because I fucking have family in Texas. I know that's a problem. I know that's an actual fucking issue down there. The problems in the cities, tends to be, due to other factors like, crime poverty, like poverty of crime, where because of lack of standard of living and proper opportunities when it comes to people living there, unless they're really extra hustling or maybe doing some side shit, like then that's kind of a part of the problem. And thus, that's where you get a lot of these like gangs and violent crime aspects comes into it. And that's why you see it, especially in southern states, with a lot of violent gun crime, and especially in the major cities. That's why. It's interesting that despite the more stricter gun laws in blue states, and especially in blue cities, it's not really as much of a problem. And by the way, this a guy coming from a dude who loves guns, but you just got to understand the brass tacks of it. You got to, just be blunt and understand that, like, here's like the correlation of how this fucking happens or why these crimes are a thing. And, maybe look at some other factors as to why. Because here's another thing, too. And this is one thing, especially with Chicago, that a lot of MAGA chuds love to fucking gripe about. Oh, you cannot own a gun in Chicago. So guess what? People just go out of the fucking city lines and get one there, or out of state, and go to the next state over. And it's like Wisconsin or something, right? Like they go to Kenosha, or like maybe they go like, south, or something like that to, like Iowa or Ohio or something, or whatever the fuck. It's just like, yeah, and to me, it's the and point, because like if the entire state or all the states had at least some basic sense of gun regulation instead of just one fucking city having it, then it probably wouldn't be as big of a deal. Oh well, they'll just go to other states and this and that. It's like, then that sounds like it needs to be a federal law then, or at least have a basic foundation of a federal law, so that ain't a fucking problem. But they don't want to ever do any of that because they think even something like regulation is like a step to taking away their guns or some shit, which isn't the case unless they're proven to not be responsible or safe with their firearms at all, or just too stupid to fucking own one. Because you might be able to technically know how to operate one and technically know how to store it properly, but you're just too much of a fucking idiot, because you accidentally are fucking waving it around your friends, flagging them, might have accidentally shot yourself once or something, and you didn't tell anyone because it was a graze on your foot or something, just some stupid shit. Like, there are just some people out there that are just too fucking stupid. And honestly, like, if you really think about it, when it comes to like gun crime, just broadly across the board, most of it is also due to accidents and due to stupid fucking shit because people are fucking dumb. That's honestly really the main factor to a lot of gun deaths and like broader guns violence statistics, is that it's not even inherently tied to a crime, though a lot of it tends to be. A lot of it's just because people are fucking stupid. They're just dumb. And that needs to be addressed. Like, people are just too stupid with them sometimes. I don't care if they're knowledgeable or technically understand how to take it apart and this and that and everything else in between. I don't give a fuck. If you're just too stupid, you're too stupid. Back at CD. It's what the bad tapers get him. These files say, release the Epstein files before throwing out a sphere that makes the sound and disappeared in smoke cloud. Like a shinobi. That little, like, cloud bomb thing is actually a thing. Like, shinobis actually would, like, create this little concoction that would be like a cloud bomb. But they were mostly used to actually be kind of like a form of, like, tear gas / pepper spray, almost. Because you were meant to throw it at the person, not on the ground right in front of you. You were meant to chuck it at them, and then it just explodes on them. And it has, like, random dust particulates, like glass particulates, things like that, that's going to get in their eyes and their lungs. That's going to fuck them up. And they're going to be like, ah, God. They're going to be too dazed and coughing up bullshit and getting shit out of their eyes, to be dealing with you. And even, let's say they powered through that shit, there's so much smoke and dust that they're not going to know exactly where you went. So, I mean, honestly, like, that is a real thing. I mean, it's just that the stereotype where you just chuck it on the ground, you got a big old smoke bomb, and you're just not there. Like, that wasn't really how it was done. But, I mean, the thing is, shinobis would have a fuckload of them, and they'll throw, like, a few of them, and maybe one on the ground by their feet, because it does create, like, a big cloud. But it doesn't last long, and it's only really for like a person right in front of you. Like, it's not going to create a gigantic cloud like a smoke grenade or something, So if you're like got a bunch of people around you, you know, you better be throwing it at everybody and then fucking like running and dipping from there, you know, because it really only works if you got people in front of you or something. Smoke that gives you AIDS. I don't know how that would work. I guess one of those little shinobi like dust bombs, but you have like literal like AIDS in it. Like, how would that work? You just have like some sort of a powder that just has like AIDS on it or something. Would that work? Would that even work? And also, isn't there a risk factor that you would get it too? Because now it's in the air. And also, would that even work? You should look it up. Actually, I'm kind of curious. Would that honestly even fucking work? Do you think the flashbang was made by accident? That would be a hell of a thing if you were the first guy to be like, oh, I wonder what happens if I do this. Bang, flash. Holy shit, I'm a ghost now. But yeah, no, I'm good. Um, from my understanding, flashbangs have been around since basically like gunpowder and shit like that's been a thing. Like, because basically a flashbang is just basically an explosive without like shrapnel and shit. You know what I mean? And if there is, it's very minimal anyway. Because the whole point is to make a very loud noise and also make a gigantic flash. So I mean, like that's pretty much the whole point of flashbangs because they're meant to be the equivalent of like they're a variation of a stun grenade, basically. Like and between those and like concussion grenades, those I mean, because concussion grenades don't really rely too much on the flash part. They rely more on the sound slash like shockwave, like it stuns you like from the inside out almost. Like I've had concussion grenades and flashbangs, you know, thrown at me from like 2020 and shit because they would use both of them. And there's certainly a major difference between the two. And but they both do the same role. And honestly, like with flashbangs, they're basically just more for the flash, while at least especially for concussion grenades, they're more for like the shock wave of the bang. Though, albeit less than lethal slash non-lethal. You don't have to worry about that if you already have AIDS. I guess so. First time to startler wasn't that intimidating. Did you ever kick one back or something? Oh, plenty of times. Honestly, on Sunday, if those smoke grenades were being kicked our way, you know, where I was happened to be recording on Sunday, I was going to kick one back too. But yeah, I've kicked plenty of tear gas canisters, plenty of fucking smoke grenades. I've kicked plenty of those fucking things. You definitely don't want to pick them up because they're hot as fucking balls. Like if you do, you want to basically like bloop, hot potato it. Like you don't want to just straight pick that fucking thing up. They're going to be hot as shit. So once you want to burn your whole fucking hand, you want to kick them. Return to sender. Oh yeah, and honestly, a lot of times when you do that, they will shoot at you. They will fucking try to shoot for your legs and your dick and your fucking eyeballs and shit. Like if you do that, they will like aim at you if you're pepper bullets and shit. They don't give a fuck. I almost had one of my nuts blown off because of it. It was actually at the ICE facility back in 20. Actually, I think it just turned the year of 2021. So it was just before Biden was beginning to get in office. So it was like, you know, there was one time where they kicked up a bunch of tear gas and shit, and I kicked one back, and one of them, I don't know who, but some agent happened to see me and went pop, 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 and took a few shots, and one hit my like mid thigh region, and then one hit me like in between my thigh and like where like my torso meets my leg, where if it was like an inch or two higher up, I literally would have like a blown out nut. Like, I'm not even joking. My right nut would probably unironically be shattered. And that would be like a nut and a half, you know, or something. Oh, God, just thinking about it. Fuck. Ugh. Specifically, my right nut. It's like, God, don't remind me. It just kind of gave me this, like, ooh. How dare you defend yourself? I know, right? I'm such a terrorist. I'm such a war ravaged criminal in a city defending, you know, this. Just, it's a travesty, bro. I fucking like love it how basic things like, hey, you don't want tear gas in the crowd of people, so you kick it back to, you know, the feds and the cops and shit. which all of them are wearing gas masks and all that shit anyway, so they're not affected by it. But not everyone in the crowd is. And even if they are, sometimes you don't expect it, so you have to like rapidly like try to fucking fling it on really quick, and then some of it gets in your mask, and you kind of have it stuck with it for a while it filters out eventually. That shit sucks. I've had that a few different times, especially if mine, because I have a Soviet era like GP5 gas mask, and you have to like get that on top of your head and then fling it in front. Like there's like a certain way to do it. And also, at least because of my hair, I kind of have to have it tied back at least a little bit. Not like full on ponytail, but at least slick back enough to where I can get it on. Because as long as I can get it around my ears and around here, this doesn't really matter as much, as long as this seals fine. So it's definitely a little bit of some shit, but once it's on there and secure, it's fine. It's just if anything, people kind of look at me like, "Oh shit, look at this motherfucker," and like throwing out some crazy badass stuff. And they ask me if I have like a good filter or not, and I let them know, like I definitely do. Like the filter I have for is like a big like 1.5 liter like Polish like 2010s era filter, so definitely got no asbestos in it for sure. And yeah, and that thing fucking works like a goddamn charm. I've used it for like half of the protests, in 2020, and that thing has been soaked up a shitload of tear gas too, considering what it is, and frankly, it still works like a charm. I'm sure there's plenty of gas that it can absorb before it's taken out of commission. Because there is a way where you can know if a filter isn't like good anymore because it's been used up, and it's when you start smelling that gas. Like, because I did have like a smaller like a filter that can tie like right in front of your mask. I had one of those, and obviously it didn't really last too long, so that's why I ordered the big one. But with that, at least, like after a certain point, even though it was nowhere near as bad, but like my eyes wouldn't water, but there would just be a pepper like in my mouth and my throat, where I'll be like, constantly, even though I have it on. Like, so it's getting out most of the shit still, but it's like it's not really effective anymore at that point because it's soaked up so much that there's just stuff that's going to start seeping through. Which at that point, that's when you got to change a filter. And I definitely want to get another one eventually, just to make sure. Because I don't know how long this other one should be able to last. I'm sure for quite a while anyway, but you never know. It's just better safe than sorry. Just have a spare one in case it does, not work anymore. Because then I could be like, all right, hold on, guys. I'm on the outskirts of this protest really quick. I got to change out my filters. Shit, I'm thinking tomorrow I'll at least swing by my house and pick up my press helmet and then my gas mask for sure. And I'm thinking of maybe grab my shield too, because I do have a shield from the protest that I picked up from 2020. So I'm thinking I might bring that too, just in case. Because like let's say like there's some maybe journalists like besides just me that are like trying to take pictures of shit. I can use the shield to be like, hey, just in case you don't want your shit fucked up, here we'll kind of create like a little wall here or something with this and take some pictures and record this. So wouldn't be a bad idea. Though I will admit I haven't really seen a lot of shields and shit, from the protester side of things. But to be fucking honest, it wouldn't be a bad idea to protect yourself from pepper bullets. Like you could literally like kneel down behind the shield while they're trying to shoot you, and then when you stop, you can kind of pop out and be like, "What the fuck?" So don't get fucked up as much. You can hold your ground a little easier. Well, if you aren't expecting a protest for all, you're just going home, minding your business. I wonder if I should have for dinner pasta for a second day in a row. This make me sick and stuff. Pizza? Nah, I got chicken and rice stir fry. That'll hit the what the fuck crowd people doing? Get suffocated by a cloud of gas. Say what the fuck? Yeah. What are these fucking things that keep hitting me? Shit, one almost hit my testicle. Yeah, like, dude, are people that have been caught in the middle of shit like this, man. I've saved somebody through that shit before. Like one of the first fucking times, I, experienced getting fucking blocked out and fucking hit massively. I think it was like June 19th or June 20th. It was like one of those days. But or maybe even a little bit before then. It was sometime around in June. It was like after the protests were going on, but at least the ones I've been to, they weren't like so bad where there was like tear gas and shit popping off yet. But I figured, these were one of the days that I could. So, and considering the tensions that were heightened at the point, so I was like, I'm bringing it just in case. And, and yeah, I needed it. And then, I was trying to there was blocks on blocks just filled with fucking tear gas, fumigating like multiple blocks of Portland, by the way. And I'm trying to like walk back to the original crowd of people, that I know were around from the block that I walked up from. And it was just fucking empty. But I did notice this one dude just like, like fucking dying. And I noticed like a very faint silhouette of like what looks like a wall of dudes. And I have a bike too, by the way. So I'm like, I don't think that's the crowd of protesters, and that dude really needs to get some aid right the fuck now and is not protected with anything. And also, like, at least just directly behind me, I noticed there's a small crowd of like protesters, and it's clear, like, there's no real like smoke and shit really going on over there. And there's like a few spitter patterns of different people kind of scattered, from behind me. So I just said, fuck it. I dropped my bike off in front of this car that was parked, on the side of the road. I just ran up to this dude and like grabbed him and been like, hey, it's cool. I got you, because he thought I was a cop. He like pushed me away, being like, oh, no, no. But I was just like, no, homie, I got you. Got his arm around me. Because when he looked at me for like a half a second, he realized that I'm not a cop. And he was like, oh, okay. And I just started hustling away and being like, come on, I got you. Because he was yelling, I can't breathe, fuck. I'm like, I'm getting as far away from the shit as possible, and by the time I got to where my bike was, there was a few like protest medics that happened to be there because I think they saw me, running up, and they immediately grabbed him from me and went off to the side of the sidewalk. And I picked up my bike. I looked back like this, and there's just a wall of fucking goons. And some of them got like their M32 grenade launchers, fucking like, a few of them are already pulling pins off of flashbangs and shit. And I'm just like, fuck. I don't know whatever happened to those three people. I'm assuming they probably stayed near that car and like hid themselves, because the smoke wasn't really and the gas wasn't as bad there. But at least in the moment, they probably stayed for a second just so they would pass and then they can get to a better secure spot. I would think. I don't know. I never saw any of those three ever again. But yeah, like I like concussion grenades, flashbangs. Every now and then there's like I think a smoke grenade at least, got launched because I don't think it was tear gas. Because by the time I got to the waterfront area, like maybe 2 or 3 blocks, up, I was able to take my mask off and just start like, fuck, and like, cause I was sweating, I was breathing heavily. I was like looking around, being like, is this what it's like to be in like a combat zone almost and have to like kind of just reflect on shit? Because I was just like, what the fuck? I mean, I still kind of think about it sometimes, at least with that shit to this day, and not all the time, but every now and then it comes up occasionally. Because I do always wonder whatever happened to those three, to be fucking frank, especially if that guy that I picked up. Because I just hope that at the very least I end up being aight. So, but because I know that guy definitely wasn't a protester, he was just some random fucking dude that just probably a homeless guy, to be fucking honest, and he probably was sleeping somewhere, in a corner or something, and just wrong space, wrong time, because he just didn't look like a protester or just anyone that looked like it should be there. It just looked like some random fuck that just got caught up in it. Just some poor, like, older, I don't know, maybe like 30, 40-year-old, like, Asian dude of some sort, like, just maybe Filipino, just just suffering, dying of tear gas and shit. It's like, fuck, bro. Smoke clears, and smoke clears, and they see you standing over them. Are you my guide to the afterlife? No, I'm your guide to avoid the trip to the ER. Yeah, no shit, dude. What's up, buddy? What you earn over there for? You go potty? Oh, those ears perked right up. Is that what's up? I'm not too sure if y'all been let out today or not. Let's make sure y'all. Oh, you need food too. Yeah, you got a few things to eat. Vito, go potty. need to take a shit before you eat, bud. Just like I took a piss and now I'm gonna eat. I heard the kibble. Goofy girl. I'll give him a little walk later, but just not right now. I figured that him whining by the door was probably what he wanted, but I mean, he can wait a little bit. He probably needed that more. Go outside. Like I said, I'll do that later. I was meaning to do it yesterday with him, but forgot to. Well, I didn't even really forget to. Just kind of spaced and just by the time I was like, oh, maybe I should. I was like, oh, fuck, it's kind of late as hell anyway. Like, I don't want to do it that late. And the last time I did, like, Vito kept, like, sneaking out of his fucking harness because, like, the front part of it's too loose. I need to get it tightened. You know, like, pretty intensely. And also, like, there was, like, a fire at the end of the trail, too. And I was like, I'm going to check this out for a minute and make sure that, like, at least the fire department shows up, which they did. And, but I didn't stay for long either for that, just because Vito kept wanting to sniff some other random shit and kept almost sneaking out of his fucking harness. Like, he did it twice, you know, last time. And I'm like, I don't really want to necessarily deal with that until I at least, you know, get his shit tightened up more. Because that's, I don't need him, like, you know, sneaking out of that thing and running off and I have to, like, chase him and pin him down and hold him while I try to, like, you know, be like, bro, I need this back on you, bruh. Hi, buddy. Hi, Beto Potato. You got a very particular way of walking up to me when you want something. It has like this little like sidewalk. It's not like a literal sidewalk. It's kind of like at a slight angle, and it gives me like this weird little like, like this weird look. I'm like, what the fuck? And it's always when you want something. Guess what kind of ice cream I got in the freezer? And I'll give you a hint. It's fall flavored. Can I get 3 chances? Also, to see the waffles, I did. Dang dog trying to riz you. No, I mean, maybe it's just the way I did it, but it was more like this. Could you give me something? A little walk? Food? Outside? Play? See, now he's doing it again. He's poking me with his little wet-ass nose. But, okay, so for fall-flavored ice cream. All right, so see if it's one of these 3, see if it's one of these 3, because it's either going to be like a pumpkin spice, an eggnog, or there's like another one. It'd be like a maple pumpkin spice. One of those 3, I would assume. Like a maple syrup, like kind of, you know, cinnamon, maple syrup, cinnamon something. It has to at least be one of the other 2 options, like an eggnog or a pumpkin spice. But it could be something different. Scott Epper Trump, who definitely isn't compensating for his dysfunctional, not all small penis, would say, wrong. Wrong, folks, wrong. Of course, the Portland Antifa woke leftists would be wrong, as anything that comes out of their fucking mouth is going to be wrong. This is what you get with the woke leftist mind virus, folks. This is what you get, folks, with the woke leftist mind virus right here. You notice Trump has gotten a lot more sluggish like that lately? Instead of being like, let me tell you, folks, it's more like, let me tell you, folks. Oh, yes, these woke left liberals. When it used to be, these woke left fucking liberals, let me tell you, folks. He used to be a lot more pronounced, and now he's like all sluggish, like a slur ball. Just like Biden. For the flavor I currently have in the freezer is no other than apple pie. That's kind of a universal flavor, but okay. All right. You know, I was thinking of like some apple cider, like cinnamon ice cream flavor. You know, I should have said that instead of maple cinnamon or whatever, because at least I would have been closer to the mark. Because he didn't have to be good, just better than Biden. But he's not better than Biden. That's the sad fucking problem about it all. The only thing he's got going on for it is that, like, he still has, like, some level of charisma. And even then, it's dwindling fucking quick and really bad. Like, I mean, he used to. He used to have, like, some genuine, like, articulative, like, charisma that was actually, like, especially coherent and at least in some way comprehensible. Even if he did, like, cut his sentences off and would ramble and shit, because that was always, like, how he was. But at least it was, like, in a way, coherent and competent. You could actually understand what the fuck he was getting at. Now, at this point, dude, he's just rambling off random shit like some dementia-addled fucking grandpa, you know, at the fucking senior home. Like, I don't even understand what the fuck he's even trying to say anymore half the time. Like, outside of just rambling random bullshit, like, you know, he's talking about the old days or some shit. Like, I mean, the dude he just has no articulation or, like, you know, or any comprehension anymore. Or at least nowhere near to what he potentially had. You know, because he sure as shit don't got it now. Or at least very little of it, if there is any left. At least if Biden, they would every now and then pump him up with drugs so he at least would be somewhat coherent, but you can literally see it in real time when that shit would fade away. Where after a certain point, he would just be like, yeah, let me tell you, Jack. And then he would literally go like, and he would just get lost. You could literally see, like, even, you know, say what you want, Biden being pumping jugs where it's like, I'm somewhat of a youthful old man now. It didn't last long, but at least you can see that they tried. But with him, like, what, is he just snorting natties all the time? You know, and he's just, like, not doing, like, the, you know, regimen that, you know, Biden did, because he probably should, just at a higher dosage, because he's a fat fuck. So, I mean, you know, because it seems like that's what he should get right now. It's, like, something equivalent to Biden's regimen when he had that going on. But just like twice the dose because he's like a morbid obese fucking orange tangerine fucking muppet. So, I mean, you know, like that's what he needs. Like, cause then he might kind of seem competent and somewhat like articulate, you know, still, but he just isn't. You see his weird shit with the fucking like speech with the Navy and stuff, dude. Shit was so. Like, I just could not understand what the fuck he was even doing. Or what he was even trying to talk about, because he would just ramble. Like, he'll start on something and then just immediately go into a new thing, like, halfway through that sentence. And it's like, what? I believe they have forced Biden to step down before that god-awful debate. Kamala would have stood slightly better chance. Also know that doesn't mean what she won, but even I feel bad for someone to be a trans that fucking bad. Yeah. I mean, you know, because in a way, I would have rather that Kamala had somewhat of a more genuine chance because, like, the Democratic Party, and her campaign, they were fucking panicking. Like, during that election cycle, especially once they were able to finally, break Biden, and made him step down because they literally forced him to. Like, I mean, you gotta at least grant that. Like, in a weird way, the DNC, at least despite whatever weird motives they had, were trying to like kind of save us from another Trump term, kind of by trying to get him to fuck off and drop. Like, I mean, they've been trying in the back behind the scenes for a while, and then eventually he just finally fucking caved. And even then, he was so fucking bitter about it. He was like talking shit, and if anything, was trying to sabotage Kamala's campaign to an extent. Like, that's how bitter he was about it. Like, I mean, like, it's kind of like, fuck that utter piece of shit, And honestly, fuck the Dems anyway, because they were the ones who put that mistake there in the first place, when they could have had a way better fucking curious alternative that would have been way fucking better. I wonder who that was. My memory ain't quite jogged. I'm sure it had to be like, Schmarmy Schmanders or something, like Smogner, McAnders or something, something like that. I don't know. I forget right off the top of my head. Pete Buttigieg. Oh God, no. Fuck no. I can't help but think Tara Reid feels vindicated. And honestly, I get so I kind of get an immediate like triggered thing where I'm like, when people are like, nah, I don't believe it. I'm like, so believe all women but her, because she happened to be critiquing Biden and Me Too and Biden. Cool. Interesting how that works. Like, I mean, why is her voice, when it comes to the abuse that she got, like, not matter suddenly because of reasons? Like, I mean, I know she probably hasn't had her name been, on the national level, been said in a minute or on any real serious political level, but I mean, there definitely is, like, I'm sure, despite that, she probably don't care that much. I mean, because if she did, she would be grifting it. Wait, Sherman Sanders? Yeah, Sherman Sanders. Yeah, it was Sherman McAnders. It's not Sanders. His last name was McAnders, bro. Sherman McAnders. That Irish bloke. What about his cousin Bernie Sanders, though? Nah, who needs a commie? Yeah, who needs a fucking far left Stalinist, Maoist, Pol Potist commie, bro? Who needs that? Dude here. Dude here. I just want to judge this anchors, but disappoints me. I am probably going to have a no contestant on this point at all, because I'm probably going to feel the exact same way. Why are you always smoking weed? Because I'm a... Because I'm just a stoner, bro. I don't know, like... Why do we breathe oxygen? Sad? Sad. Okay. I don't see how that's sad, considering that, like, I'm in a recreational legal state and it's not a faux pas even on the national zeitgeist, unless you're like in Idaho or Texas or some shit. Like, I mean, it's not really like, it's not as much of a faux pas here in this country as you think it is, dude. Shit, every time I visit my family in Texas, they're always like, well, not all of them, but at least my cousins out there are like, so how's the weed out there? They're always asking me about it. I'm just like, probably the best in the country. Because the West Coast knows how to do it right. So, of course, you don't. Yeah, because it's not a big deal. So, why is me smoking weed a big deal to you, dude? I know, like, conservative, like, my family, like, my cousins and shit are conservative. And they're totally, like, down with it. Like, they don't care. They see it's pointless for it to be illegal. They just want recreational legal because they just don't see a point. And plus, they see the fact that it does make profit and tax revenue for states that helps invest into programs that they recognize are needed in certain states, and they would like to see some of that extra revenue. If it was, taxed like it is in Oregon, because the marijuana taxes and the revenue that comes from all that goes into Department of Education, goes into the fire department, and shocker, the police departments and law enforcement in the state as well. And it also goes into awareness programs and also drug rehabilitation programs as well. Like that's what the revenue goes into. I mean, you can make sure that with a bill, like when it comes to it, like that say what you want socially, at least economically and otherwise. There's other ways where there's alleviation to other ailments that are social ills because weed. I mean, even if maybe it is a social ill subjectively to people, I mean, what's more of a social ill is someone strung down on fucking heroin on the side of the street. That's arguably a more social ill, including to me, not because of the fact that they're strung up on heroin or some shit. I don't really care if they're want to do that. That's their choice. But the fact that we don't have a system that wants to at least like treat it like a medical issue and loss of opportunity that it is, for that person. And we should ought to look at people like that to be getting back on their feet. And when it comes to other social ills, yeah, let there be programs, of course, like alcohol rehabilitation, shit like that. Including there are definitely plenty of people out there that make weed a problem and shit. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, like as a broader just social thing, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, it wouldn't wouldn't be like a legal recreational thing if it wasn't, and despite the fact that there are definitely ills that are around. It's just not healthy to smoke regularly. I'm not saying that it is. I mean, there definitely are like elements about smoking weed that aren't necessarily healthy. That's why usually, especially when it comes to medical, there, and at least when it comes to medical treatment, that's why other things like RHO, oils or like even moisturizers or like massage creams or edibles, those are usually, a lot more expansive in the medical field, but recreationally, people are looking for it to get high. And that so obviously the basics of like dab oils, flour. I mean, yeah, people are going to go for it, and they might recognize that yeah, it's not entirely healthy. And I know that yeah, for my lungs, it probably ain't the greatest, but it's I'd rather that than be chiefing down a pack of cigarettes or something. You know what I'm saying? And that's even granted that yeah, I will mix that shit too sometimes, mostly to preserve the weight, just because I'm trying to fucking save money. But that's just mostly because of that factor. Because it's more not really just a rant. It's more about just like kind of a opening of like a understanding more about like maybe from a stoner's perspective, sure, but more of an understanding about what it is. Because I mean, it's yeah, like I'm definitely a stoner bro about it, but there are plenty of people that aren't, and there definitely are plenty of people that treat it way worse of a problem than arguably than I fucking would. Like yeah, I'm a daily stoner, but I know people out there that literally just need to have like a vape pen on them or like a pipe on them or something pretty much at all times to chief up and smoke like constantly. And hey, I'll chief with them, but I'm not always a constant fucking chiefer and shit. Honestly, the most time I do smoke is when I'm doing these streams. So really, like this isn't exactly a accurate gauge on how I am when it comes to me smoking and shit. I just only do it because of, it's kind of a part of the recreational thing, and plus being a little stoned while doing these is it's a little fun. Adds a little more fun to it for me. You grew up both parents going to church. Nah, more my mom. My mom's side was the one that was the most Christian side of it. My dad, weirdly enough, was like a former Wiccan and kind of agnostic, but he would sometimes go, but not always. He was usually either working or doing other stuff, so he never would go. But yeah, it was mostly on my mom's side because she was the one who like went to Bible college. Like she's still through Christian and shit, and for me at least, like honestly, in a weird way, because of how she pushed and like kind of pressured a lot of that onto me, it kind of helped kind of put my more broader anti-authoritarian, principles slash like kind of rebellious nature towards authority and especially towards organized religion, to be honest. Because especially when it came to the pastors or the preachers or even reading the book itself, like I noticed there were contradictions. There was even outright hypocrisy. There was a lot of things from like this don't really quite make sense, and there was just never a real like position to challenge it outside of just like question it and then just get the answer from them that I'm not satisfied with, So in a way, it kind of helped grow that into me, and certainly sure shit stuck. But I mean, arguably, ultimately, like especially because of maybe my more critical lens of Christianity, I recognize that, frankly, at least in the United States, I can't speak for the rest of the world, predominantly, but at least here in the US, most Christians here do not follow that book for a lick of shit, especially when it comes to the new law of Christ, when it comes to like, disregarding the old laws and, establishing the new ones under Jesus, like, especially under that shit, most of them do not uphold to even like a fraction of it. Like, some folks, I'd say, like my mom arguably probably at least got some of it going on, where they at least do, or at least do their best, despite maybe some contradictions or hypocrisy in their own beliefs, despite that. But like, especially when it comes to the bigger churches and the bigger influences, like whether it's, Joel Osteen, Kev Copeland, even formerly Pat Robertson, it's like, they're not there to try to spread the love of Christ or some shit. They're there to spread, proselytization for their own money and to guide people into a false sense of what these beliefs ought to be because they're trying to suit their narrative and try to push their idea of what God and what Christ ought to be and their false prophets. Even in the Bible, Christ himself has fucking outright, warned about people like that. And yet most of this country or like sheep are fucking falling to the flock, to those same fucking wolves. Lots of wolves in sheep's clothing. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, and I still wouldn't necessarily be like a Christian or like, whatever, even if it wasn't for that fact. But like, it's just honestly a lot, it just kind of makes it a lot more harder for me to be open to it when there's so much hypocrisy, so much contradiction, and so much like, especially historically, control over people, under the guise of, a broader truth, basically, right? Like, I mean, I can't vibe with that, and that goes for any religion. Like, it's not just Christianity that has this problem. It's just religion, period. Like, and just people in power and control, that is the cause of that problem. And there needs to be major checks, and that's why, especially for me, I'm such a, a rebellious person towards authority because you know unfortunately, more often than not, authority, especially when it comes to elements of control under people, there's usually a very negative ulterior motive, when it comes to one to have authority or control over others. There's a very negative, element, and there's a very bad thing going on around there if that's, whether it's a religious leader or a politician or anyone else besides. Some religious people. Well, I mean, religions start from people. I mean, it always comes down to people. I mean, organized religion is founded on people organizing these beliefs into something that becomes a power of control. And thus, the hypocrisy and including contradiction when it comes to certain beliefs, especially the ones that, came before them, and they are there to change it, not the religion. I mean, I'm kind of a little bouquet no los dos about it because, like, religion came from people, but also at the same time, like the manipulation and contradiction, comes from people when it comes to the original foundations of these ideas. I mean, and also there's just some things about, a religion that, I might not just necessarily agree with. Like even when it comes to like, maybe the different sects or different philosophies, of different religions, like with Christianity, there's a shitload of different sects and beliefs, when it comes to Christianity, from like Methodist, Calvinist, Lutheran, Catholic, Mormon, etc., etc. And then you got like, Islam with the shitload of sects there, like a lot, there's just a multitude of different philosophies when it comes to like, these religions. So it's like, at the end of the day, obviously there's going to be differences, and it's going to be, when it comes to the broader doctrine. And for me, I just don't agree with the idea that there should be an inherent like force of doctrine of like this broader objective idea, of what the whole world should look towards. Like, I do think there needs to be some basic foundations, but like there's I mean there's like a lot of fundamentals about us that are just not going to jive entirely when it comes to a forced idea of what we should ought to be. So it's forced. I mean, I don't know. That just kind of depends. I mean, at least with religion, a lot of various different religious leaders. Sometimes even within the doctrine of the religion itself. It just depends on who's advocating it. But even in politics, there's definitely plenty of that as well, including especially and sometimes with the blend of religion. Because I know there are people out there like Kenneth Copeland or Joel Osteen that definitely want to force their ideas in a certain way. Steve Anderson, absolutely. Like, he's an exceptionally detestable motherfucker. The doctrine matters, not the corrupt leaders. But sometimes who's creating those doctrines? Sometimes the corrupt leaders are the ones that are creating the doctrines. Like, look at the New King James Bible, for example. Like, that was broadly established as a newer narrative of the Bible, literally to essentially like inherently enforce the idea of divine right of kings, and to be a subjective towards the authority and to the king. I mean, and especially when it came to how you look at how King James operated as a king, because he was a fucking tyrant. Like, I mean, when you look at how he ruled in establishing this new Bible, essentially with the new King James version of the Bible, like, it makes sense of like how he can corrupt a doctrine and create a doctrine, because of being a corrupt, and tyrannical, a very authoritarian leader in this case. Sometimes it's the leaders that do create the doctrines. Even if there was, origin, to that doctrine before, like, doesn't stop, these corrupt people and these other people, in the future from, either, changing it to suit their needs or their narratives or to suit their corruption and power. Like, I mean, that's kind of why there's a little bit of both that could be put to blame, because sometimes it's created by these same people to establish this sense of control because they can see a value of manipulating the original doctrines of these beliefs. And that goes just beyond religion too. That goes, into like politics and philosophy and a lot of other stuff. It's not corrupt. I'd beg to differ. I have the paraphrased Bible, and that one is not the New King James version. It's translated from a previous version before that, and honestly, that is a lot more accurate to what arguably should be Christianity, because especially, when it comes to the New Testament, the quotes of Jesus is in red. Like, they have red quotes and quotations, for when Jesus speaks and stuff. And arguably, that's what things, that Christians should be looking at. They should look at the Old Testament as a form of study and like, yeah, don't be like that. And then look at the New Testament and be like, read the red text, of Jesus, and then take from that. Because arguably, that's at least supposedly is what Christianity is supposed to be about. Is taking Jesus's law and putting it into praxis, basically. But don't really necessarily seem to be the case. Arguably, I find that non-Christians seem to be a little bit more, like a little bit more not reeling, but just more aligned with those broader beliefs than not. Because arguably, I like to think that I align more with the beliefs of Christ more so than a lot of Christians in this country, at least in the United States. That doesn't mean all of them, and that doesn't mean necessarily like most, but I do think, especially with a lot of them that exist out here, I probably follow the followings of their Christ more so than they do. King James did not create doctrine; it's just not true. He literally did. I mean, that's the thing, though. I mean, he literally did. Like the New King James version of the Bible came from his, reign as a, and king with the English Church, and like that's just what happened. Egregious worse than the most important. Well, at least we can agree with. Because yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it don't matter what interpretation it is. Like it's kind of hard to interpret Christ's words as something different outside than the decrees that he made and like the things that he was saying. Like even I will even grant, even in the New King James version, like outside of maybe slight like translation differences, they aren't really too far off from even other versions that I've seen. And I've seen like all sorts of versions of the Bible, but the one that I own that I got from my mom is the Paraphrase Bible. And but I've seen like the Gideon version, the New King James version. I've seen the Lutheran version. I've seen different versions of it that do exist. So I mean, like it's definitely one of those things where especially with the various translations, with especially the more popular verses and the things that people know the most, there is definitely a lot of interpretation, when it comes to some things. And I'm like, in that Bible, and I'm like, oh my God, this is why I'm like, I can't really jive 100% with it. Because how can there, I suppose, especially with something that seems like it should be like a kind of a clear case, like interpretation is like so vastly interpreted, even within like their broader faith, right? It's like at that point, I'm like, do y'all even have figured out? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, if y'all don't got it figured out, how am I supposed to know if it's like the right way or not? They find Doctrine of Jesus as valuable. Oh, sure, but I also find like a lot of different spiritual and religious, texts and things out there that's pretty valuable. Like I think the Tao Te Ching is, an Eastern religious philosophy, like with Taoism. Like I think there's value in some cool stuff to learn from that. And in fact, honestly, like I think like there's kind of a cool humility, like slash like humble sense of self and your place on the world kind of idea with not just with the Tao Te Ching, but also with other different Eastern philosophies as well. Like I kind of have a genuine appreciation for those philosophies and those religions and beliefs. I mean, it's not like my total jive either, but like in a way, I kind of dig it a lot more because it's not. There also definitely seems to be a lot less sense, even within the doctrine itself, a less sense of control, or a less sense of like, no, someone ought to like, this is how you ought to be, like this is how you must behave, or this and that. It's more about like I mean, at least with Taoism, it's more about like, the Wu way of like the balance of your place, in how you are within the world, but also within the cosmos and within the broader Tao of itself. Because the all knowing Tao is like incomprehensible, not, something that we know, or at least within Taoism, is something that they know is a thing, but it's as the all knowing Tao is incomprehensible. So, it's more about the balance of what was formed by that said Tao of what the all-knowing Tao is, and just putting the balance of the Wu Wei in your place within it. It's a very humble idea of just like recognizing that, we're a part of a bigger thing, but, we're just one tiny little piece. We're not like some chosen thing or this and that. We're just one small piece of this bigger spiritual scale, grand scale things that even to a degree that we, understand we can't comprehend. And I actually kind of weirdly appreciate that. So I honestly, if I probably had to pick a religion, I'd probably be Taoist, just because like even within it itself, it's kind of like acknowledging that, like, yeah, there's definitely parts of this that is incomprehensible, but we understand that there is like a kind of like a balance between these things. And sometimes it does vary. And sometimes it, that balance, comes into like society and like other factors and other things too, not just within nature itself and within the cosmos itself. I mean, it, comes down even to the tiniest little things. And even like, work that you might be doing, stuff like that. Like, it's why, for me, I kind of have a weird little appreciation because it's not like inherently trying to say like you have to be doing X, Y, or Z. It's just like just recognizing your place within it all and trying to find a balance of doing X, Y, or Z. The balance of it all, or the Wu way. And one thing I really love that I forgot exactly where it is in the Tao, but there's like one phrase that is said that when you are finished with your work, forget about your work until you go back to it. At least that's kind of the general gist of it. And the idea is that like, you're doing a job or you're doing some work, but when you take a break or you're done with it for a minute, because like, hey, you're just done for that job for the day, or your little project you're working on, you're done for a minute, you take a break, just like totally blank it out and totally forget about it, kind of thing, and just be like, all right, this is no longer in my thought anymore. Don't let work clutter your mind, basically. And then, put the balance of work to your own personal life. That's kind of what it's essentially is applying. And that's another factor of the whole Wu Wei element that, I kind of find, appreciative in a weird way, because it generally is kind of like, you know, a humble idea of like looking at work. Because, yeah, on one hand, work is important, especially when it comes to like personal projects. But at the same time, you want to like not let it fucking like occupy your head all the time, right? You don't want to let work occupying your life so much to the point where you can't even enjoy your personal time and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, or your own personal life or recreational time and shit. Like, there's like a balance to that because you don't want to be like thinking about, some project or whatever while you're trying to chill with the boys or whatever. You know what I mean? Or maybe you got some other project you're doing, but you can't really do it effectively if you're thinking about the other project. Doesn't mean to like utterly forget it, but it just means to like, wash it out of your mind for a minute. Just let it be there, but you know, only think about it once you go back to it and once you work on it again. And if anything, you might have a lot more of a refreshed mind because of that. And even before, learning more about the Tao and stuff, like even for me personally, like I already kind of was, you know, that kind of a mindset. At least when it comes to like certain things, especially with like art projects, because like every now and then when I'll be like, oh yeah, this project, open it up and be like, and then I suddenly get a creative spark, like looking at some of my last little bit of stuff I worked on. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, cool. And just get a spark out of nowhere. Then, like, suddenly 2 hours pass and I have like a shitload of stuff that I just worked on. I'm like, cool, boom. Just got that burst out and then just let it sit and forget about it for a bit and until I go back to it. Should let things through the fair from your head. Well, yeah, definitely. Sounds like Escalades. Yeah, probably. I wouldn't be surprised if you had a very similar idea about these things. I mean, the human condition, despite the different philosophies of the world, all kind of come back to the same thing: the broader human condition. Those Rose says up too. What do you say? Yeah. This reminds me, I need to get back into the story I told you about last year. That about that one god and Lucifer working together, sub Elder Tours. I didn't mean to continue around Easter, but better late than never. But it's possible it's going to be trying to flesh out the siblings of Christ since there are six of them. but bridge across, I guess. I don't know. Maybe one of those things where you have to just do a little research on. I mean, I know there is like some stories around that too. I don't know really too much about it, to be honest. But honestly, at least when it comes to like the broader like Lucifer slash like God aspects, I could probably help out a little bit. But like the ideas of like siblings of Christ and shit, like that one, I'm not really as I'm not familiar with that as much. Though to be fair, I know there are a lot of different like stories of the Bible. Like there's also like the story of Judah or the Book of Judah. That's pretty much been kind of like wiped away. I mean, it's still a thing. I mean, you can find it, but like I know there are a lot of various. Like there are some. I think there's like a book of what's it called, like Book of Hades or something. I forgot exactly what. There's like at least three or four that were in the original OG version of the Bible, but I've been kind of slowly kind of written off essentially. I because I wouldn't be surprised if honestly because I think there's a book of Mary or at least a book of Joseph too, if I remember correctly. And frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if some of that is in there because I know just because of especially with that whole idea of like authority and the change of how like doctrine can be manipulated with corrupt people and leaders and power and shit. Like I know a part of a lot of that being taken away, especially with the Book of Judah, because that's a pretty a major one too. Because it also, like, if I remember, I know that part of the, at least a part of that book, at least in that, shows that like Judah was like contemplating on the whole concept. It wasn't just like, oh, he was just going to do it because he wanted the money. Like at least from what I remember, there was a contemplation, but there was a threat of like him and all the disciples, including Jesus, being crucified. If they didn't fess up to who was who, basically. And Judah was the only one that they kind of like rolled up on, being like, "Yo, you're gonna fuck. I know you. We know you're a disciple, bitch." Basically being like, threatening his life. And so there, from my like, especially from my understanding from that book, like a part of like the betrayal is that it wasn't even really. It was more like a blackmail, like the idea and like a threat of the life of all of them. So in a weird way, and Jesus somewhat recognized it too, like that. Yeah, one of you are going to have to betray me because that's going to protect the rest of you. you know like, because if we all stay secret about who Jesus really was, we're all being crucified, we're all dying. But they, at least, especially from my understanding of that book, with the Book of Judah, it's not entirely the case. Which, frankly, knowing the Romans, it kind of makes sense, to be honest. Like, I mean, especially if they're all disciples and loyal to the guy and following him, maybe they might have like back and forths. And I know Jew was one of them, but like, if, like if the idea is like, yeah, you're all basically going to die, or you just tell us who it is, and then, y'all can live kind of thing, despite that one guy. I mean, yeah, I kind of get it. Especially if you do also value and care about the other people that, you've been walking with and like following the word of for so long, right? Like, I mean, because in a way it's like, hey, you're kind of making the dude a martyr, and of course that's how he's perceived, right? I mean, he is, for all intents and purposes, he's a martyr for all the sins of humanity. Like, he martyred himself to forgive all of humanity's sins, basically. Like, so ultimately that end up being like the case, right? So I mean, maybe in a way, Judah probably recognized it, but now he's just demonized the entire time, just on the virtue of like he tried to help make sure that the word was protected, despite the fact that the guy was not there anymore, right? It wasn't about protecting himself, so all ran and hid. Besides, Rome didn't care about Jesus. Well, not entirely. Like Paul and Matthew, like a lot of them didn't just hide. A lot of them were actually like going out and spreading the word as well. Some did. And I think Judah was one of them because of the fear of being persecuted, and which understandable, I suppose, especially at that time with persecutions of cultures, religions, and different tribes and shit, especially of the Romans. It was probably one of those things where like some of them freaked out and got spooked, and some of them just fucking, you know, kept their chin high, and many did. I mean, maybe like at the end of the day, we're never gonna really fucking know exactly why or how these people did what they did and shit. If we're even to like take these stories at face value, anyway. I mean, because there's a chance that these are probably an amalgamation of stories from different people from a broader movement that happened because maybe the movement was bigger, but they got coalesced or narrowed down to these big names because of like these different leaders within like this early Christian movement, or this, at least at the time, like a radical sect of Judaism. I mean, especially when it came to Jesus. I mean, it's even speculated Jesus might have been at least a few different people, from similar backgrounds that had like, that were part of the movement that like, help establish, this big, story, which, I mean, I could kind of see it, especially considering that like, Yeshua, was a common name at the time. But I mean, for like maybe like four or five of them to be like pretty much the same, kind of like similar influence and stuff at the time. I mean, I don't know, maybe. Again, we can only really ultimately like, look at what the archives and records are, and at least so far, everything speaks to at least definitely being a major movement and a major like Judaic radical sect that ended up becoming Christianity at the time for sure. Like, there definitely are records of these things, but like, for me, I wonder kind of whether like how big like the heads of that movement were, because maybe it was probably more than just Jesus, and just the disciples. Maybe they were like a collection of multiple people that end up just being narrowed down to these names because of the commonality in names or something. I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things at the end of the day, like it established, what we know of, and at the end of the day, whether it is multiple people or they were all one person, whatever, like it doesn't matter. I think, what ultimately is taught, is really what should be, considered, and at least especially considering time, especially what Jesus was advocating for in doing, considering the faux pas of the era. I mean, he's definitely someone to look up to an extent, and to at least modernize in a context where it could be recognizable. Because there's a lot that he was advocating and saying to where a lot of people say he was like kind of a proto commie, essentially. Hated the rich, hated, was very critical of authority, not fond of the Romans, was very much, willing to hang out with, the destitute, the sinners, the impoverished, the prostitutes, the people that, society wants to fucking let to die, the blind, the crippled. He hung around with these people all the time throughout his life. And even had like a time in the desert, where the devil was fucking challenging him, being like, "Ooh, you want to convert?" Like, and yet maintain his shit. So it's like, being humble and being able to stay principled in your own fucking shit, especially being like a selfless kind of person in an era, especially at that time where, that wasn't really exactly a big thing or looked up on. Yeah, at that point, it's like, there is some value to look at that. There is some value, at least at the very end of the day, whether you, want to believe in the religion or not, because I don't. I mean, honestly, I'm an anti-theist, but despite that, like, on top of being atheist, like, I, do see some value, at least when it comes to certain elements of the doctrine and scriptures, when it comes to not just Christianity, but all sorts of religions. Like I said, if I had to pick one, I'd probably be Taoism just because of my personal interest in that religion. But like at the end of the day, I mean, you know, despite those beliefs, I can recognize the value that they can have, and at least even to other people. And hey, if it's pointing those people in the right direction, they're actually doing good, not just to themselves, but to others and all that shit, I can't really complain about it. You know what I mean? Hung around him on his terms. Well, sure. But he still did. And even despite, when he could have walked away from that at any moment He never really did. The sickening doctor? Of course they do. I mean, I'm not a faith-based healing advocate whatsoever. Like medical science and medicine and doctors and nurses, like they're the saviors of how we can live so long and have our bodies the way they are. Like they're the reasons why we're able to exist. You know what I mean? At least in the ways that we can. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd much yeah, like we need those type of people. For sure. Mission essence would predominantly Buddhist or Taoist. How much more peaceful and functional versus society we would have? So who knows? Probably. Most of the main popular religions justify genocide, war, and colonization for the false divine, right? Uh, Logan Sarah. Oh my goodness. Well, I guess I'm supposed I'm the good cop while Logan's being the bad cop, quote unquote, when it comes to this, I suppose. I mean, I do agree with Logan though. I mean, the predominant religions, and the, especially big religions do unfortunately advocate these things. Like when it comes to Israel with Zionistic Israeli, or like with Judaic Israeli Zionism, or like, evangelical Zionist Christianity when it comes to genocide that's been going on in Gaza, which I know about the whole ceasefire and all that shit, but frankly, that ain't lasting forever. And that is not going to be a permanent thing. I'm glad there's some breathing room, but I'm not exactly happy about it. But still, it's a thing. But either way, you got that going on. You got like various different organizations that are very hyper radical Islamic sects, like ISIS or like Al Qaeda, or whatever. And then you have nations like Saudi Arabia that are very extremists when it comes to their beliefs and control and authority, not just to their own people, but also like when it comes to doing genocides of their own, like in Yemen. I mean, there's a lot of factors where it's like, these, a lot of religion does unfortunately create these, norms, or at least, this sense of normalization of colonization, genocide, apartheid, genocide. So is China great? I ain't talking about China. And no, not necessarily, they aren't. Arguably, I think they're probably better on certain things, but when it comes to colonization, genocide, and apartheid, when it comes to like the Uyghurs and Tibet and shit like that, they're no better than us. I suppose they're better at presenting it, but that don't mean shit. It just means they have better PR, how to make it look better. But that's it. Doesn't mean the world don't know about it. Certainly not the way Jesus Christianity. Jesus Christian. Well, the New Testament, basically. Well, I was mentioning about the paraphrased Bible from earlier because, like, even in the New Testament, a good chunk of it isn't in like red text, but because Jesus wasn't like a thing yet in the New Testament up until a certain point, But even then, it's like if that's supposedly like the new Christian law, and you would think that Christians would fucking believe in it, but a lot of them look at Deuteronomy or Leviticus and Old Testament shit. The OG like Judaic / like old school Christian beliefs. So what should be looked at as like more modern Protestant, beliefs. Well, I mean, I will say this at least: like, he hasn't been throwing really any insults at me, outside of like dogging at me for weed earlier. But whatever. I will admit, I do think that if you two were in a chat, like a voice chat factor, I think it would be a little different. Maybe wouldn't be as tense. But I don't know, because in a weird way, I wish I could do like, hey, let's Discord you two, like up right now. Like I wish I could right now, and I just have y'all right here. I just have the phone. I'm just like being a moderator or something. I wish I could do that, but alas, I can't. Unless I'd hit up James from Modern Day Debates. I'm gonna have to see if Phoebe can maybe throw me a bone on that one, because she's gonna go on Modern Day Debates here pretty soon. I don't know when, but I'm gonna kind of hit her up, be like, yo, can you maybe see if like they're cool if let me be on, because I'm actually kind of like, I wouldn't mind, like, depending on the topic, I will give them like, topics I know I have a strong suit on, especially, and see if they can get somebody that is willing to maybe throw those topics out. You know what I'm saying? Religion to be one of them, honestly. Like, to be frank, that like, because if I were to be like on Modern Day Debates or some shit, it would definitely be like religion, or like the current politics of the U.S. right now, especially with Portland, or like fascism versus anti-fascism, or like labor union advocacy, versus not pro-union advocacy, stuff like that. This says unhealthy and sad you smoke too much. Well, what I mean by dogging on weed, I mean like not outright like fucking on me or insulting me or something. When I mean dogging, I also kind of mean that too a little bit, but it's whatever. It's not a big deal to me. Logan's a silly guy, not worth arguing with people who spill nonsense. well, Logan's my homeboy, and he, is, like, he's a guy that, sometimes he could be a little tough to argue with sometimes, but most of the time, like 95% of the time, we're just, even with other friends, might think our arguments are just like little casual conversations between him and I with politics. Like, there are definitely times where, him and I, might be contestive, but never gets heated or nothing. Like, I mean, I will say it's just harder to get things across in a chat versus like what I'm doing here. You know what I'm saying? Because there are times where Logan is actually here, and it probably would be easier for him to say what he wants to say, when he's here versus being in the chat, because he only has so much, and obviously it's gonna be a little extra, so. What keep me want? Nah, hey, Logan, don't. I know you were just trying to say that, but watch out, Monica. Yeah, let's a little. Come on, Logan. I mean, hey. I mean, just he's fine enough to chill. Like, if anything, I kind of at least like, a little bit of contention about some stuff. I want a little guy like that around, I want a fella like this. Choose throw and still save action. I go back for it. It's hard to type quickly on my phone. Well, yeah. Well, let's at least, take a quick little step back for half a sec, for a moment. And I'm sure we can at least make it a little alright, Oh, shit. I forgot to get fucking butane again. So I can fill this bitch up. God damn it. Well, hey, thanks, I guess. I mean, I've been investing in the internet for a long time, and I know how, like, especially streams like this, where especially with a lot more freeform, it can be like, because even when I'm on the chat side of things with streams like this with people I watch, it can be kind of difficult. Like, I get it, so that's why I don't flip too hard, even if there's sometimes people are like, "Hey, you missed my comment." I'm like, I won't go to I have to like go back up, because I get it on both ends, because I can be the same way with some shit sometimes, But it's just one of those things where it's kind of the struggle sometimes with these more laissez-faire streams. If I had like a lot more of a better setup, I think I could, legit, make things work out a little better. Be like, we can not have y'all arguing in chat. I'll pull you all into Discord or find a way to like, make y'all have a call or something. You know what I mean? On a side note, I just delivered to the Golden Dragon. Had a few 6 bitches up in there. I was surprised, honestly. I heard it was kind of trashy. Got a fat tip though, so that's good. Nice. I mean, I've heard it was, but I think a lot of it's just because the Scientology church that's right across the street. Or, well, pretty much across the street. So, there's like some, it's just kind of one of those, like, it's just a weird area. Like, on one hand, it is kind of trashy, but on the same time, it's like weirdly like looked out after because of the Scientology church being so fucking anal and fucking weird about their shit. It's a weird spot, dude. I mean, but hey, I imagine that the spot it ain't really that bad. She thinks she just loves you more than anyone else. And sorry, don't love you. I get your fucking fire straight. Get your head out of here. Jesus. You think, hey, don't be so sensitive. Damn. There's like sass going on both ends on this one. There's sassiness happening on both ends here. Could Peg gets a princess? What the fuck? Oh my god. I bet Rose is just like chilling with some popcorn, being like, oh damn. Oh my goodness. What up? Nisha? Nitcha? Nicha. I know you're trying to make me say something, but I'm literally, I know what you're trying to do there, sir. If I was to attempt at a ligma, it ain't gonna work. I guess in this way, it would be a N-word version of the ligma. It's like trying to be like, hey, can you give a shout out to my friend for his birthday, Nick? And then Gurr. Yeah, Mr. Gurr. Happy birthday. I love it when that old school, like, shit comes up. Because I'm just like, damn. They really think that I'm that gullible. I've been around the internet too long there, dog. I've been a descendant of this bitch since like 04, dog. Like, I've been around for a minute. All right. I need a lighter than $8 because this is dead. I think I remember seeing one over here at one point. Is there still one over here? No, wow, there literally isn't. Well, that's just fucking not nice. Well, great. Shit. There used to be. Logan, I know you're still in there. Is there a lighter in your room? I forgot to get butane again, so I might need to grab another one because this lighter is almost dead. Is there one up there? Because I'll go up there to grab one really quick if there is. You just love playing around, don't you? Come on. Up, beat up. Whatever happened to your rope? Man, you're not that aggressive about this fish. Come on, get the fish. Get that fish. Get that fish. Get that fish. Get the fish. Yes, get that fish. You are all so fucking lazy. Come on. Fight for that fish. They are just lazy about this right now. I faked him out, and then I actually chucked it and bonked Vito on the nose and fucking just yeeted over there by the door. Vito! Get Jazzy. Get him, Jazzy. Get him, Jazzy. Oh. He's been a growly boy. Vito's got a lot more growly about his shit lately. Get it, Vito. Get it, Jazzy. Come on, Jazzy. Get it, Jazzy. Get it, Jazzy. Yeah, Jazzy. Oh. Pulled him off the couch. Get it, Jazzy. Get it, Jazzy. Get it, Jazzy. Vito, don't be pawing her neck. Wow. Get it, Jazzy. Get it, Jazzy. Come on, Jazzy. Get it. Good girl. Oh, Vito mad. Vito jelly. Come on, get it, Vito. Get it, Vito. Get the fish. Fish, Vito. Fish. Get it. Well, don't give me that look. Go get it. Get it. He just grabs his ball and just runs off. Why are you licking your ball? Bring it over here. Come on. Come on. Bring it. Good boy. Good boy. Look at this poor fucking thing. This thing's been savaged and ravaged. Come. What? Whoa! Jesus, he punched my armpit. Damn, bro. Oof. Jesus, somebody is intense. Oh, well, hi, Jazzy. Oof. She's like, I want it on this action. Vito can't get all of it. Oh my god, the crazy little fucks. Crazy bastards. Ugh. Come, Vito. Whoa! Jesus. Oh my god. You're fucking nuts. Get it, Vito. Tug it, Vito. Come on, Vito, you lazy fuck. Hey, Jazzy, careful. Oh shit. Lost my fucking grip on it. Get it, Jazzy. Get it, Jazzy. Get it, Jazzy. Get it, Jazzy. Good Jazzy. Vito. Get Jazzy. Come on, Jazzy. Come on, Jazzy. Good girl. Yeah, Jazzy. Vito's so mad. He's like, fuck you, bitch. It's my ball. Get it, Jazzy. Get it, Jazzy. Good girl, Jazzy. Yeah, bring it over here. Yeah. Vito, you gotta be a little better than that. Come on. Oh, Jesus. I'm actually very, like, kind of, like, yeah, we're doing this. Ah! Yeah. Ah, fuck. Oh, shit. Oh, they got my forearm somehow. Oof. Oh, fuck. How did they even do that? Damn, how'd you even fucking, like, get me there? Oof. Crazy motherfuckers. They're still fighting over it. Oh my god. I love it. I love it. I tried to say ninja, my bad. Again, like he's gonna try to get me to say it again. Though I have a feeling that was probably like from earlier though, because YouTube just suddenly like popped that up, and I was like, that seemed way too late, considering the time frame. YouTube, can you like at least be a little better about the chat thing sometimes? Because there are times where your shit don't update. He just starts throwing a still Civ actual discussion. I'll take him out. Nah, I mean, okay. Time him out. Don't actually like ban him if that's how you think. I mean, because I like, because I will admit, like, for a while there, we're kind of chilling, for a sec. So, I mean, despite our contentions and obviously not really agreeing with a lot. I mean, but at least it seemed like he was hearing me out. So I was like, all right, cool. Seems like he at least has a few neurons going on. You know what I mean? So I can at least grant that. Mostly want to like bring up more about maybe see what he feels about Portland and shit, considering that especially you and I, like live here. Oh, time out, and if it froze out and still happening, I'm sick of people who can't literally talk. It shouldn't be allowed to. Yeah, I mean, I could kind of get that. That's why I'm kind of wondering, like, can I see if I can find a platform or somewhere where, like, in a fun way, like, maybe there could be, like, a little debate thing with with something like that? Because, I don't know, like, I've been kind of wanting some of that myself, and in a weird way, you got the chops for, like, the broader, like, debate stuff, like, when it comes to, like, the online shit, like modern day debates or spontaneous little things like that. Like you got, some chops about that, Like legit. Like you can actually make a pretty weird like side career just literally like debating people on different platforms and doing streams just like arguing with people. Like I'm not even gonna lie. Like because you got some chops and you got like a way around it. In a way where it's different from mine for sure, but I think it works. It works where, in a way, especially from a left perspective, I think it might be very valuable. Like Borderline Fascist, I don't know really too much outside knowing that he's definitely got a very misconstrued idea about Christianity. I know he was here the other night, not that long ago, and I wasn't really paying too much attention just because there's a bunch of other people, fucking going off with their shit, so I didn't really see too much of what he was saying. I did for a little bit, but not for long. So they're delusional. So are a lot of conservatives. But at least the ones that have some brain in their head and are willing to at least listen, then fuck it. Hopefully there's a seed or two planted. And I won't grant, like, it seems like, he understands that, like, I'm definitely a leftist cut from a different cloth to a degree. And I think that's probably why he's been coming back. Which I can grant. And I'm like, all right, cool. You're not your stereotypical far right conservative, and you see me as not your stereotypical leftist. That's good. That's actually not really a bad start. But that doesn't mean that it would end well or bad. That just depends on where it goes from there. Because if they're at least willing to be chill, then cool. But that only goes up to a certain point. At the end of the day, so quicker than tools and they're overconfident, they haven't studied or done research, it's easy to win Hypervisual naturally went to college. Yeah, true. Like I said, it's like a cat with yarn, but it stops me that way for me when people literally just recruit and still stop playing the game. Yeah, a part of me, that includes it too. Because when they resort to that, then I know that I kind of pretty much got them. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, all right, yeah, you're just a ball of yarn. I'm just gonna fuck with you because you got nothing but insults. Now you're nothing but a perfect little bar yarn to just pit pat you around with. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it just really validates it. Like, yeah, you're nothing more than a ball yarn to just fuck with. Versus like at least this one other person maybe that might have a neuron in his head. Because they're, especially, Sunday night leading up to Monday morning after that stream that I did with Phoebe, like, a few of them didn't follow me, after that. And yeah, I mean, in a weird way, I kind of want it, honestly, just because, yeah, in the midst of all the dumb fucks, there's got to at least be a couple of them, even if there's some beam of disagreement, they're going to be at least okay-ish. But even then, they're still gonna, let's just be honest, they're still gonna be kind of fucking dumb. That probably can be good people, that's bad. Yeah, well, of course, because it shows a lot of their, like, subliminal racist feelings about, like, how they, look at other people. Especially those that might be, like, Hispanic or Arabic or Indian, Pakistani. So trying to engage a conversation, which requires me and that person try to bring out the best of our intelligence and critical thinking, and then they can't do it. Oh, I know. That's why sometimes you just kind of have to be the intelligent one in the room and be like, "Well, this is how this is," and that, it's you kind of have to almost treat it like they're a fucking like fifth grader occasionally. Soft base. Well, yeah. I think I feel sometimes when these motherfuckers come through because it's like arguing with a goddamn brick wall occasionally. But in a weird way, I mean, I kind of like it because it hasn't been around in a while. But the few times it does, I'm like, ooh, awesome. But it just vindicates me more, if anything. I need to get more like Portland based like shit in my title, so especially being the Portlander around here, like, and maybe if I do just have spare time, say fuck it, just go over there even for like 30 minutes, just so I can cast an net to these MAGA fucks, they can come over here and I can argue with them. Because I've been really itching to argue with these motherfuckers, especially because of how they've been thinking and looking at Portland right now. I'm like, I live here. Like, I want y'all to fucking just try to fucking say that it's a ravaged hellscape and a war zone and this and that. Like, I want them to come over here and do that, Like, just so I can, even if they don't want to believe it, shatter that fucking, bullshit. And fuck. At least it stands, I could literally walk around like, a couple blocks and shit and show off like, yeah, it's pretty peaceful around here, it don't look like a goddamn ravaged war zone. Yeah, this fucking house over here is like literally a bombed out husk. Yeah, like, over here right off of the fucking max line. Yeah, it's literally like a outright fire zone where there's like two fucking forces fighting and shooting each other right now. Like, you can hear the gunfire right now, right? Like, I mean, give me a fucking break, dude. The idea that these far right motherfuckers, ever since especially Reagan, and probably realistically, probably before then, like, these motherfuckers have always treated Portland, these far right dump fucks, like, oh, it's some ravaged hellscape, it's a drug anti-addled den of anarchy. Like, half of it's always burning at any given moment. It's like, give me a fucking break. I mean, I kind of love, but absolutely fucking hate that this is just the same bullshit every fucking year, all the time. And these far right motherfuckers always are advocating like glassing Portland, bombing the shit out of it, like making it a bombed out shithole because they think, oh, that will bring order back here. It's like, fucking what? Oh, is it a bombed out shithole now? Or do y'all want to make it a bombed out shithole so you can justify fucking bringing order or whatever the fuck? It's like, give me a break. It's fucking insane, dude. Why do you think you have, like, inflatable animal suit parties at the fucking ICE protests, at this point? You know what I mean? Because of how unserious that this shit is. I mean, it's so absurd. And yet they want to act so violently towards this shit. Doc of the Natty Ice Guard versus the entire Animal Kingdom MC. Dude, I kind of want to get in on it, guys. Like, low key. I'm not even going to lie. I want to bring this up real quick because I mentioned it earlier. Like, I want to see if there's like a Husky inflatable like animal suit. I'm not going to lie. Like, I will buy one just so I can, be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? But as a Husky. Because then that could be the Husky one. Because then any other protest that's going on, I could just bring that damn thing, for every protest. You know what I'm saying? Got my chicken suit. Babak. Dude, we got the Rooster Squad. We got the Froggers. And we got all the other Animal Kingdom animals. Dude, Portland is just showing off that, like, the entire, like, Animal Kingdom is fighting back. Dude, have you all seen the videos of, like, the frog, like, literally just, like, just doing shit like that to ice and stuff? It's just fucking hilarious. Dude, there's a video of that same frog, dude, with an Among Us, like, red Among Us, like, fucking character, literally humping each other at one point. And it was just like, what? They are just trolling so fucking hard. It is beautiful. Let me see if I can fucking find it. Hold on. What's the charge on my phone so I can charge this bitch? 83%. Yeah, fuck charging this thing. Yeah, it's good. All right. Because we got to see it, bro. In fact, I'm pretty sure that is on the Daily Show fucking YouTube short that I sent to the group chat and a bunch of other people. Like, I'm going to see if I can find that because that's going to be the best one, bro. Last delivers tonight and get to go home. Fuck yeah, bro. Here, before I take a pep piss, smoke this to your last set of deliveries. Yeah, I'll be right back. And hopefully this charge up just enough so I can turn it on. We'll find out video. Oh, look at these little waggy tails. Oh. Yeah. Wow. Where's my Jazzy and Vita Floof? I haven't seen him yet. Well, Jazzy's right here. Being a little chunk. You goofy little girl. Oh my god. You goof. Ugh. Oh, hello. Ugh. She slapped me for ears. Damn. Hi, Vito. Vito. Your turn. Oh. Well, this works too. What's up? What's up, homie? What's up, bro? What's up, Neph? This is a position. This is a position to put yourself in. Goofball. Oh. Oh, you are such a fighter. You wrestle boy. Wow. You crazy wrestle boy. Ah. Wow. I got you now. I got you now. Oh. He's like, what the fuck? Am I like a Sam Piker? Am I just abusing you endlessly? Am I like, Doggate 2.0? Abusing you like a Sam Piker with Kaya? I just abuse you. I just hurt you and abuse you and terrorize you. Ah! Oh, he got my mouth. Oh. You crazy bean. Oh shit, they're going at each other. Get him, Jazzy. Don't take that shit. Get him, Jazzy. Jazzy, you got his neck fluff. Oh my god. Oh, you pinned him down. You got him down. Oh shit. Oh my god. This is a full WWF Attitude Era wrestling match. Jazzy. Oh my god. Get him, Jazzy. Crazy little fuck. Get him, Jazzy. All it took was one little order. Get the toy. Get it. That's not a toy. I swear to God, if you knock that bike over. Ball. Come on. Bring the ball. That's not. No. Bring the ball. Or the fish. Oh, look at her. She's like, here, I bring fish. Look at her. She's like, I bring fish. I'll bring fish back. Toss fish. Get Jazzy. Good Jazzy. Vito, you're supposed to get it, Vito. That's the Vito. You derp. You're supposed to bring that, and Jazzy did. Oh my god, look at her. She's like, you gonna toss it? Vito, you big derp. He walks away offended. Oh my god. He walks away all upset, just like, I'm gonna fuck off now. Goofy fucking little mutts. Vito was about to walk off again, and I just bonked him in the head with a fish. And Jazzy still brought it back. Vito. Vito. Come here. Oh my god. Homie. Vito. I literally have to fucking adjust you in every little tiny fucking angle and way. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Oh, look at that little tooth. Look at that happy tooth. Look at this happy face and tooth. Oh my goodness. Y'all can't see it, but he's just showing off that tooth to just be like, oh. Oh, you crazy bird! Oh. 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 Such a little goof. Check Telegram date exists. Oh, the little husky inflatable suits. How much are they? You know, fuck it. I'll just go look at it really quick. I'll be right back. Okay, holy shit. They're way cheaper than I thought. They are, dude, like $30 for one of those inflatable, dude. Oh yeah, dude, worth it. Honestly, weirdly enough, I might just buy one after this stream. Dude, worth like $30 for one of those things. And honestly, like, it has one where my face is still going to be shown, so maybe I could still wear, like, you know, some masks and stuff like that over that. And in fact, in a weird way, that'd be better, because then if I'm streaming or something, maybe I can fickle with it enough where I'm holding it with one of my hands and I'm playing some bumps and shit while I'm streaming, and I'm just like, what's up? I'm just streaming Husky bitch or whatever, while I'm also, like, you know, like with the others. Yeah, I don't know. That would be kind of a little fun. Oh, you know what? Speaking of, I gotta show off, you know, some of that. Yeah, hold on. I literally mentioned I was gonna do this. So hold on. There, I'll turn that down a little bit. There. Get a phone mount headband. Oh, dude, I should. Or at least get, like, you know, a phone stick, like a selfie stick, basically. Because then I can at least hold that, you know? Something like that. Because if I have Bluetooth, I could just blast it in max volume inside my suit with, like, a jacket or something like that. And plus, I could wear, like, a little something on the inside for, like, armor, you know? So if I get pepper bolted or some shit, I can have that, you know? So... Because I noticed that some people were making jokes about, like, the frog suit dudes, you know, being, having, like, gas mask and, like, armor, you know, inside their shit. And apparently, when, the first OG frog suit guy got, pepper sprayed with this little ventilation thing, good news. Apparently, I did find a clip of him shortly after, you know, that happens, you know, of him saying, like, yeah, I kind of coughed for a bit. it sucked a little bit, but you know, I just kind of had to sit there and cough it out, and that was kind of cool. After that, it ventilated away. They kind of got like the sides of it and other shit, you know, from what it seems like, and yeah, it wasn't that bad. Which good news, like, because I honestly thought that they was probably gonna choke and die in that damn thing, but apparently, like, it was nowhere near as bad as you know, at least from what he said. So nice, I can dig it. But here, let's see if I could find this short. Yeah, slow charging. You're charged up enough, bitch. Just give me to YouTube. I thought you were in there, but I guess not. Oh, there you are. Cool. Just gotta wait a minute. It's kind of taking a while. Oh, thank you. Cool. All right. I know it's from Daily Shows, and I think I should be able to look it up from there. Jesus Christ, this thing is so fucking slow. Wow, is this seriously taking this long to fucking load the fucking thing? Wow. Come on. This is taking way longer than I expected. Jesus Christ. Let's fucking take a hit right now, I guess, and just wait. It finally loaded. Now it's just gonna take forever to buffer for the fucking thing.
So Democrats.
What? That's not the video. What?
A laundry list of demands.
Back up. Ah!
I'm just kidding.
Back up. That's not what I was like. Whoa. Oh my god, this thing is getting retardedly slow. Come on, really? You know what? I'm gonna give this stupid fucking thing the time for this to turn the fuck on. Come on, really? Wow. Please. The fucking app crashed. I love it. I fucking love it. This thing is so goddamn like slow and dead that I just like nah. I'm gonna try to make a Natty Ice Guard sticker for Saturday also. Oh, make one? I didn't think you were gonna be making any fucking like. I kind of want to partake in that. I want to make a sticker. You're making stickers? I want to make a sticker. What? Oh, speaking of, I've been wanting to ask about like what time or like where should we meet? Like before the march, because I'm definitely gonna at least try to make that and bring a couple things, and plus I want to do a dual stream with Phoebe. But I figured at least like as long as we figure out like maybe somewhere we can link up at, maybe before heading to the march, and go from there. Have label paper. Ooh. Do you think maybe you can donate some for moi? Because I actually would totally like want to make a couple stickers myself, to be honest. While I'm also sitting over here trying to figure out what is going to cooperate quicker for fucking watching the shorts of these goddamn inflatable party animals that is in Portland. I'm trying to figure out which one's gonna be quicker. This one's now turning on. This one still is loading, being a bitch. I'm pretty sure this one's better, so I'm hoping that one at least is not shit. Using Inkscape. Well, I still want to at least, partake in some of that myself. I mean, yeah, if we will figure out like maybe a different time, but potentially, because I mean, if you got some spare label paper, maybe on one of our days off or something, we could probably like a mutual like free day that we all have, that we can do that. Because I wouldn't mind making a little bit, making a couple, because I have a few ideas of like some silly or fun ones in mind. Okay. Okay, I guess this one needs more time to charge, but I'm thinking maybe now finally this will work, but it's still being slow as balls. Well, it's on the short, but it ain't playing it yet. Oh my fucking god, it's gonna be so slow about it. Holy shit, this is diabolical in a very bad way. I'm just gonna wait for it to all load, and because this is ridiculous. I thought I muted it. What the fuck? I guess that kind of worked. It is way too goddamn slow and buggy. Holy shit. Why is this not like... Bleh. Black and white only. I don't care. I don't care if it's black and white only. I mean, if anything, I can make like white, like for a color, and then I can, Sharpie it or put something else in there for that color or something like that. Or maybe like some paint or something. I don't know. Guess we're just gonna have to suffer with this bullshit. All right, please tell me you're actually gonna like play and cooperate and be nice.
Trump will end the radical left's reign of terror in Portland once and for
all. Wow, it's okay. Well, at least you got some. You got a unicorn. You got a bear. You got this fucking raccoon.
As MS-13, as TDA,
people
as
giving
ISIS,
flowers
as
out.
Hezbollah, as Hamas, as all of them. They are just as
the frogs pumping
ice to destroy us, just like the other terrorists we've dealt with for many,
Chicken Man, I saw him the other day. He's pretty cool as fuck.
Street battle against Antifa. Hand-to-hand combat every night to come and go from their buildings.
Hand-to-hand combat, which is you're doing slide shuffle. Yeah, hand-to-hand combat, bro. A burning hellhole, bro. The old granny playing This Land Is Your Land by Woody Guthrie, and it's like, nah, she's actually trying to burn it all down to the ground, bro. I love the unicorn and shit, dude. I love the unicorn, the fucking goddamn. Oh, shut up. Whoa. Stop. Oh my god. But like I said, I love the unicorn and the fucking little raccoon. And that dinosaur too. Like, they're just coming out of the woodworks. You know what? We need It's Gorilla. You know what? Fuck being a husky in the inflatable husky suit. I need an inflatable gorilla suit. And I could just be like, It's Gorilla. And I just wear my It's Gorilla shirt, over it somehow, even though it might look so retarded. So I don't even care. Like, I would totally wear it, bro. It's Gorilla. Oh my god. Because Gorilla always wins at the end of the day. And you know what? I know for a fact that, like, the DFF crew will, notice it if it happened and if it was on, like, on some footage. Oh, they will be like, hey, it's Gorilla. Gorilla's out there in the fight, bro. Like, you know what? Yeah, I might do that instead. Instead of the husky, I might do the gorilla. Or both. I mean, if they're actually pretty cheap, to get the inflatable party suits or whatever for like a husky and a gorilla, I might just get both at once. Fuck it. Because then, for one protest, I could be the husky, and then the other day, I'm the gorilla. Or I could just bring both. I just have, like, a big old backpack, and if, one suit gets a little fucked up, I just whip out the other one. So, hey, that actually might work. And the fact that they're like $30 a pop is actually fucking shocking. And you know what? Just for a little quick throwaway thing for the protest stuff, fuck it. I'll do it. I mean, it won't show up yet, but if the Natty Ice Guard, actually are officially deployed and stuff, then it will come in time for that. Because, dude, Portland ain't going to be off the fucking national list, for a while. You know what I mean? When it comes to, like, us being on the limelight. Portland ain't going to be here for a while. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, especially for things like this, like what I'm doing here, if I'm, if I can, bump it up by doing things like that, even if it's like dual streaming a Phoebe or whoever else, or like, hey, it's gonna work out. And I especially if I want to, like, just pop it out, you know what I mean? Like, just like pop off, with like something silly. Because even if maybe I'm not necessarily streaming, then I could be known as that guy too. And it, and every now and then if someone asks questions, I could be like, yeah, I also do streams, ignore husky, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Just flex that every now and then. So I don't know. I think it'd be fun. Especially if MAGA chuts want to pop into. That I just thought about that because, like, despite the obvious, like, weird bullshit they want to try to throw, I mean, knowing that here in Portland we're not taking it that seriously, having like silly little animal parties, little dance parties outside of ICE and shit. I mean, it just kind of shows that, like, yeah, I mean, we just we get shit around here. You know what I mean? Like, because it's one thing to obviously disrupt and, fuck guys around a little bit and stuff like that, and especially a place like in Chicago or LA or anywhere else. But I mean, like, around here, like, there's like kind of this weird, like, unorthodox way that we like to do things, and sometimes when something just clicks, it just clicks. And all it took was one guy in a silly frog suit to just like make a big old fucking animal party and the whole fucking protest basically. You know what I mean? So I can dig that. I love that shit. I mean, because you need that. You need like those unorthodox, silly people that don't make as serious as it looks like. You know what I mean? You just need some people like that. I'm glad that like Portland is the city to be flexing out right now, because hopefully it fucking expands and explodes. Hopefully it's like other places and other cities and other areas of the country where people are doing their own silly little inflatable animal parties against ICE. You know what I mean? Like hopefully the ball gets rolling with shit like that, because it just shows how much of a contrast is to this administration being so fascistic against the people. Because if the people are having these silly little parties basically that are protests at the end of the day and resisting against fascism, but doing it in a way that is silly, I mean, it still works. And in fact, really shows the highlight of the contrast of how, our administration wants to react and treat these people. Because if they're being silly and not taking it so seriously, then why are they? Why is our administration taking this so fucking seriously? They should be fucking off, and like, if anything, every now and then they come out and play along with it because they see how stupid it is. You know what I mean? Like, but no, like they'd rather fucking like try to pepper spray their fucking ventilation systems in these fucking inflatable suits and shit. At least with the frog guy, and then like tear gas, fucking or gaffle people up. Still, like they still treat it aggressively. And in Chicago, I know for a fact that there was a priest that got his fucking eyeball shot the fuck out with a pepper ball. Like, there was a few fucking, ICE thugs on the roof of a building, and they shot his eye out. While he was literally doing this, like, pleading to them in his fucking, priest outfit and shit. Like, fucking being like, why are you like this? Why are you so, like, why, like, doing this thing? And the party and the administration of God and and fucking holiness is now shooting holy people and fucking pastors and priests that are more on the side of Christ than these motherfuckers. It's ridiculous. And and as fucked as it is, the more that happens, the better it really is for, the people that are resisting and for the movement resisting against this fucking administration, because like they are so heinous that they're going to fucking try to blow out a fucking priest's eye out. They're going to try to suffocate a fucking dude in an animal inflatable suit to death with pepper spray. Like, and all such, like they're going so far over innocuous shit, over harmless shit, things that are nowhere near deserved as a reaction, that is being merited and treated. Even in Portland, like there are people that will like just sit there in front of ICE being like, why are you doing this? You're all fucking idiots, and being pieces of shit. And then all of a sudden they're just like, spray the shit with pepper spray. It's like, where's the fucking like, proper due course of lawful action against something like that? And in fact, there shouldn't be, because that's their fucking first goddamn amendment right. Not as a protester, but just as their fucking First Amendment right to speech, including the assembly to protest. But yet, we get punished for it over here. Not just here, but everywhere else in this fucking country. You think, maybe your town hasn't been hit yet? It will. If you let this shit keep up. But it definitely won't, because there's been plenty of people resisting against it, and more people are getting pissed off about it because of the fucking like utter black and white difference of the fucking reaction of this shit, especially with Portland. War ravage, been a hellscape for fucking years. Like the audacity, hold on, this thing been charged up enough, because there's like 1%, whatever. Good enough. Because, dude, there's something from Onion Nugs from earlier today that I was hearing from, like, a part of Trump's, like, quotes that was just like, what? I mean, absurd. I mean, and this is Portland that we're talking about here. And I know that we're known as, like, some Antifa bastion and fucking lefty, which is fucking even more retarded because Seattle's got more of a rep for this shit than we do. Seattle's got literally more of a fucking reputation for being a fucking far lefty city than Portland is. That's even the more insane thing. Well, how's Portland like the left bastion of the fucking nation when Seattle's legitimately more accurate to that, description? And even then, not really. Like, you don't see like furry kink bars, like in Portland, but you do in Seattle. There's like a whole fucking district in Seattle dedicated where it's like basically like a very strong leftist bastion where Portland don't got that. I mean, well, maybe kind of, maybe for certain places, but not really. But Seattle do. So it's kind of absurd that like Portland somehow is like this crazy left bastion when realistically, in the brass tacks of it all, Seattle's, at least on the West Coast, Seattle's more like that. It just don't make sense. It's insane. And stupid, and holy shit, this fucking thing really, like, sped up with it. And I forgot, like, I actually logged in on my account on YouTube with this, so I can actually go on my watch history to find it. I love it. I swear to God, if it fucks this up, I'm gonna be like, what? But hopefully not. Let's see here. Should be... Where'd it go? Alright, it should be right here. Okay, didn't. Good. I just gotta find the exact timestamp because I know it's around over here. Yeah, not that one. I think it's... Come on, don't... Oh, there we go. Oh, wait, I think it's right here, I believe. Oh, damn it. It didn't. Oh, there we go. It was just before that. Let's see, just to make sure. Not there. Where was it? Oh, here we go. Found it. Found it.
If people were being killed and courts were holding us up, governors or mayors were holding us up.
Right,
Maybe I'm being naive, but could you fucking get
Oh, come the fuck on.
me? Because, like, if this is true, right, that Oregon, that Portland in particular is a festering, smoldering, burning hellhole, right?
Right.
Which it literally ain't, by the way.
For him to just let it be that so he could point at it and say, see, these are the left-wing cities. This is what happens. Like, why would he want to clean up Portland? Isn't it better? It's just like a festering canker sore that he can point at.
I mean, also that's another, I didn't even really hear that the first time I was like watching that part, but like, yeah, wouldn't that be the case? Wouldn't you necessarily want to leave it hands off to let it fester so it justifies more of a reason why you need to go in there more instead of going in there when there's like nothing happening here? It's boring as shit. Like, wouldn't you want to like sabotage it a little bit and like, have like, some funding to make it worse here? Whether via like GOP operatives that are in the state or outside of those factors or some other, you would think, but because honestly, especially this year, it seems like Portland's been like way more just, for lack of better words, like boring outside of the usual things that happen here, like with Petapalooza, the Rose City Festival, the Blues Fest, yada yada, usual events, festivities, and shows, stuff like that. Outside the usual things that are happening here all the time, like it doesn't seem like it is nowhere near as bad as it used to be. Like in a sense of crime, tweaker, homeless problems, shit like that. And it's like it's not like that shit ain't a problem. It's not like it never went away. It's not like there are places in Portland where that's still a major problem. There are plenty of places and plenty of areas of Portland and elements just broadly beyond that where that's still very much a problem. But in comparison, in the past years, it's been a little better. That doesn't mean that, got it all figured out, but shit, as it stands right now, I mean, like, Portland's been better than, like, in 2020, 2021. It's like the murder rate is down 51% from last year. Like, there's only been about, like, 16, maybe 17, murders, this entire fucking year, since last year. So, and if that's kind of a major diff. So things haven't really been as fucking crazy in Portland or just in Oregon in general in comparison in the previous years. So that, and I think arguably a lot of that is because of the new administration within Oregon with the city council, the mayor, plus like, new administration with some of these other counties, etc. Like, I mean, I'm sure a lot of it has to do with that because they're actually trying to address these problems in an equitable way where it's actually fucking like positive. But at the same time, it's also like these just aren't as big issues anymore. But yet they're still wanting to be flared up as like this whole big fucking thing, especially here in our fucking state for some goddamn reason and in our city, where it's like it's not as big of a problem. It's still there, but you don't think we're ain't figuring out on our own over here? Like, we don't need the ICE. We don't need fucking the National Guard. We don't need this fucking administration, fucking things up. Because that's all they're doing is just making it worse. And if anything, they're genuinely are terrorizing this fucking place and terrorizing the state and the city, especially. So it's like, I mean, what the fuck? We don't need your asses. Fuck off. The only thing we need is your fucking funding. That's it. We don't need your fucking National Guard, running amok. Well, technically ours, but taking control of them, or any of this other shit. We don't need that. Fuck off. And also, fuck that Black Hawk helicopter that is literally flying around downtown Portland all the time. Like, because I know for a fact it's not there for surveillance or anything else. It's literally there just to annoy people with its fucking noise. Because a Black Hawk helicopter, with the engine that it's running, it's loud. Even, like, there are times when, like, I'm visiting my mom to, like, go to the hospital that's, like, like way up north and shit in Portland. And I'm seeing that fucking thing going up and down the river and near the south side of Portland and stuff. And even with the traffic and all this other noise stuff, I'm hearing that fucking thing just, just fucking like with the rum and the, like the, the fucking helicopter running. I'm hearing that shit for like probably like over a mile or two plus away on the south side of fucking Portland. And I'm on the north side, and I could see it and hear it because it's just echoing throughout the entire fucking city because it's just hovering over the fucking river. Knowing that it's echoing its sound everywhere, the entire fucking city. It's annoying, and it's ridiculous, and it's also violating fucking FFA regulations. And considering the government shutdown, who's going to fucking stop any of that? Nobody. So they can get away with it. And even with the FFA, even without the government shutdown, no one's going to stop them because it's the direct orders of the fucking, commander-in-chief, the fucking president. So who's going to stop that? So we're just kind of fucked with that one. That's always nice. That's always lovely. And even if they don't got a Black Hawk, there's at least, the DHS and ICE has their own helicopters that they're fucking flying around on top of the Black Hawk helicopters. They got that too. Or at least news helicopters too flying around. For whatever reason, their transponders are off too as well and shit like that, which is interesting. Hey. Wait. Hey. I want to play more of this. Bruh. No! I went to the stamp and then it was like, nah. Wow, really? Do I have to fucking... I'm doing this. Sometimes the screen needs that sometimes if it's doing that. There we go.
Therapist right of free.
Same like right or same article. Ah, damn it. Almost. Where was it? Right over here. There we go.
Burning hell, dude.
Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, here we go.
Of what's going on in Portland. You know what? Maybe Trump's got a point, guys. You don't have to say.
Trump
Don't have
told
to say.
reporters
Definitely.
in the
Oh,
Oval
totally
Office
has
he
a
did not
point.
yet see the need to use the Insurrection
Actually,
Act,
no,
but
saying already
If he
some
had to
shows.
enact it, I'd do it. If people were willing to, if people were being killed and courts were holding us up, or governors or mayors were holding us up.
Trump told reporters in the Oval Office he did not yet see the need to use the Insurrection Act, but if I had to Insurrection Act it, I'd do it. If people were being killed and courts were voting us up, or governors and mayors we're holding us up, I'd do it.
Maybe I'm being naive, but could you fucking give me, because like if this is true, right, that Oregon, the Portland in particular is a festering, smoldering, burning hellhole, right?
Literally ain't.
Right.
Wouldn't it be better for him to just let it be that so he could
Happening
Okay,
in Portland
right.
over the years. It's a
Oh, wait, I already heard that part, but anyway, hold on.
bring canker sore that he can point at and, blame on us?
no. Law and
No.
order, Paul. Law and order, dude.
Law and
Gotcha.
order.
Okay.
You look at what's happening in Portland over the years. It's a burning hellhole. Trump added. A burning hellhole, dude. And then you have a judge that lost her.
A burning hell. Oh my god, dude. What the fuck? A burning hell. What? Just fucking what? A burning hell for years. And the judge has lost away, even though I appointed her myself. Like, what the fuck, dude? I mean, what the fuck? I mean, what do you even do to some shit like that, dog? I mean, what the fuck? Just absurd, dude. Portland's been a festering hellhole for years. Is war-ravaged, folks, let me tell you. Meanwhile, Portland's never been better in, like, years. Basically, like, what? Like, with flaws and all, like, we still got a lot of work to do, but still, like, we're doing better than we ever have been in a while. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. He's getting a gorilla suit. Yeah, because it's gorilla. Dude, Rip, if I could find, an inflatable gorilla suit that's like $30, just like that Husky one that you sent me, I'm getting it. Because then it could be like, it's gorilla. Because, dude, if DFF, like, notices that, I'm gonna literally be like, that is me. Put me on the show. I will tell you what's going on. And I will even be like a guest fucking, like when you're doing a show, I will literally show up and be like, fuck it. Like, I'll be like you're on the, on the ground reporter or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'll do it, bro. I'll be like a quick on the spur in the moment, like on the ground reporter for some motherfuckers, bro. They make Portland sound like my IBS spice hole. Oh my god! Ah, no! I don't want to know about that. Jesus. But true, though. There are some facts to that, though. Urinate track fashion. I can't stop drinking beer and chain smoking like a fucking, I don't know. Well, I guarantee you that the urinary tract infection is probably more of the drinking than anything. And also, you just need to have a lot of water and probably just go to the doctors, like, probably, like, now. Like, you know, to figure that out. And just, I don't know, maybe see if something about your diet needs to be changed there, buddy. Because if that's the case, then I mean, the weed or broader smoking probably don't really got much to do with it, even though you probably want to fix that yourself too. But yeah, this might have something to do with that. Thank fuck I don't gotta deal with that shit. But yeah, you might want to fix that though. Oh God, yeah, go to the hospital, bro. Why you were in my chat trying to be like, I probably should go to the hospital for this, should I? And that's what you're coming at me with. I'm like a stranger to you, dog. Like, go to the hospital. Like, go to the emergency room if that's what's happening, my G. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm actually just unironically being like a genuine like advocate for your health here, and I don't even know who the fuck you are. Like, just don't do what you're doing. Fucking like go to the hospital and fucking figure that out, my homie. Like that's not something to just like linger on, you know what I mean? Like you just want you need to like address that like now. Or like, I don't know, yesterday. And I'm not a doctor, and I'm not going to claim to be one, but if I know anything, that's probably something you need to check out, bro. Like, seriously. You probably want to, like, check that out, like, now. Thanks, man. Well, hey, man, I'm just saying, I mean, you got to look after your health a little bit. Take herbs that help your filtration system. Sounds like your kidneys are struggling. I feel like there's a little bit more than just struggling kidneys going on for a boy here. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's a little bit more than just that. And he just needs to hit like an actual medical professional and doctor, because like that's all I know that he needs to do. So that's all I'm saying. I mean, yeah, there's probably definitely like some you know, like some herbs and other shit that, you know, probably be good for that for sure. But at the end of the day, like, he needs to hit a professional to figure out what other shit's going on, because I don't think herbs are going to solve whatever problems he's having right now. You know what I'm saying? It might help a little bit, but he needs some extra shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're pissing blood, you need more than herbs. The herbs are to help prevent that from happening. But if you got that going on, you just need to go to a doctor. Like, you just need to go to that and like now. You know what I mean? Like that's a problem. Herbs ain't saving you from that shit. I know milk thistle is good herb for the liver. Not sure if it helps kidneys, so. Well, liver and kidneys are, well, because, yeah, definitely. Yeah. She's on a doctor help one side, or she's taking. Well, yeah, because they help, you know, with, you know, like other things, including diet and exercise, and including other health habits on top of medication if that is needed. Like, of course, you know, so I'm just saying for RG, he just needs to hit the doctor first before hitting the herbs. You know what I mean? Like, he can figure that out later once he, you know, figures out the source of his issues. You know what I mean? Because that's a problem. Worst case scenario is cancer. I don't think it is. It's I don't think it's cancer, but I mean, at least as far as I know, like, I don't know if any cancer, you know, bladder, kidney, or any other variation that does that. So at least as far as I know. But it definitely is some other shit going on though, bro. So I mean, whatever it is, just if you got like a provider or something, like, or even at least an emergency room thing, just hit that shit up, dude. Like, you might, like, maybe not now, but like the next time you have the most availability for it. In fact, call in for work if you have to. Be like, hey, I got an emergency. I'm peeing blood. Like, I need to like hit the emergency room. Like, whatever work that you're doing, they're gonna fucking understand. And you obviously will have a doctor's note. Like, so even if you have to work or some shit, just say fuck it, dude, and just call in and do it, dude. I would be freak, dude. If I noticed I was pissing blood, I would freak the fuck out. And if it wasn't in the middle of the night or some shit, like I would immediately go to the emergency room personally. Like I'd be like, "What the fuck is going on? I need to know now." Like that is fucking scary. Like I'm freaking out. You know, like that's how I would be. I'll be having a panic attack over it. Like so, I wouldn't be setting that aside. So when you have P2, no aspect to take consideration. I mean, if you're pissing blood, I'm pretty sure it's going to be hurting a little bit. Like, I would assume that it does. Like, because I can't imagine pissing blood not being, you know, a painless, you know, event, you know? So, because half fucking clots, it wasn't just paint like blood. Yeah, burnt like hell. Yeah, dude, go to the emergency, man. I don't know what time it is for you, but maybe like sleep it off. And if it's still going on when you wake up, just do it. And even then, just go to it because be like, hey, the other night, this is what's going on. I'm not sure what's happening. You know, blah, blah, blah. Like, you might you just want to do that, dude. Because if you don't know what's going on, you definitely want to take a professional, you know, like look at it. Might have something going on for your bladder / kidney system. Yeah, definitely. I mean, because that's no bueno. No bueno, hermano. Shit, now I'm getting self-conscious about my own gut and my own, like, shit. Because, like, especially, not with my bladder, at least, thank God. But at least with, you know, like, my actual digestive tract, it's been a little funky for a while. But, like, even, like, today, dude, like, I don't know what it was. But, like, Jesus Christ. Like, on both ends, I was not feeling the hundo. So I was just like, shit, dude. Yeah, but you know, because I know I need to do like a broader, just general health checkup. I just want to know how my broader body's doing. But I know when it comes, oh Jesus Christ, these hiccups. But when it comes to like, you know, my general like digestive gut tract, I know there's like a little something up, and I need to either change something about my diet, or you know, something for sure, or maybe add something to my diet. Oh, fucking hiccups. Come on. Really? Okay, these hiccups are very sporadic. But either way, like, I know I have to at least, at the end of the day, at least change something about that. But you know, I definitely want to at least know specifically, like, hey, is there a little something up, you know, beyond just diet shit, or is, you know, maybe like just genuinely like some other factor of my, you know, like day-to-day life or something like that, you know, that, you know, I've done, you know, like, yeah, you know, it's just good to have like that general broader health checkup. You know, I definitely want to do that at some point for sure for myself. Try fermented food, so make a world difference. Does pickled foods work? Because I love pickled foods. Like, you know, like pickled onions, just regular old pickles. You know, like, I dig that shit. Not the biggest fan of fermented foods, though. Though I guess it kind of depends. Depends on the dish I'm having. Check Telegram. All right, I will sec rip. Is there a possibility might you contract an STD, a possibility of causing or getting things? I don't think it's an STD, but it might be an STI. Well, STD, STI, they're kind of broadly same difference, but I mean, hey, like I said, man, you know, definitely worth checking out. Either way, definitely sounds like something's going on and you want to check it out, bro. It's really bad for digestion, bro. I mean, it's probably part of it. I know that at least, you know, like, a part of it's just not having, like, you know, a variety of different things in the diet on top of, like, you know, definitely other health choices. I know for, you know, there's definitely some things to it for sure. I definitely just want at least, like, you know, if there's, like, at least something supplemental, you know, even, let's say, with given, you know, certain health choices, you know, that it can, you know, like, mitigate, you know, a lot of those problems. So, I don't know. I mean, it's just, overall, it's just one of those things where, either way, like, this, you know, yeah, obviously I got my recreational vices and shit like that, but, you know, I still care about my health, you know, even with my vices, and I recognize that I got my vices, you know, but, yeah, despite that, you know, I want to, you know, with that in mind, I want to at least, you know, try to, you know, care for the health that, you know, that I can at least especially control, which it's my body, obviously, you know, I have control, at least, you know, in the sense of that, but at least, you know, when it comes to what I can at least mitigate, then I definitely want to do that. I just don't know exactly, because it's like, oof. Because, I mean, I've had, you know, certain habits of mine, you know, for a while, but it just kind of feels like it's only been like the more recent, like, year or year and a half, give or take, where it's been kind of like, ooh, my gut has not, you know, been treating me right. Because it's definitely, you know, not been as much of an issue. It's happened before, but like not as much of a problem in the past than it has in a more recent, like, year or so, give or take. So I'm just like, is it like, you know, something about, like, you know, lack of fiber intake, or like a lack of you know, some other thing, you know, that I probably need? Because obviously, you know, I know that definitely plays a role in it for sure. Oh, smoking, so many spliffs could be it. I'll have to check it out, though. I think so. Well, maybe. Fermentation has a healthy limit to liquid yogurt. Well, it has fermented food slightly left in the house. 70% in stomach. Best luck. Oh, yeah. You know, knows call about health. What? I mean, I don't know about that, man. I mean, Logan's one of my old G homeboys. I mean, that's why he's one of the mods too, but just because he's a friend. Doesn't have to really take authority as a mod, but, like, I don't know about that, dude. He definitely does. Definitely knows, you know, things, you know, when it comes to health. So good. No, he's saying that you. Well, he's trying to say that you don't know anything about it, but it's like, I mean, I know that you do. Are you taking a shit soon? What? Am I taking a shit? What? Why is there just like a motherfucker every now and then that's like that? Never seen you take shit. Yeah, because why would I be doing that while I'm fucking streaming, dude? If I was, I'd be walking away being like, I gotta go to the bathroom really quick. Be right back. And then yeah. Why would I be doing that while I'm streaming, dude? What? like, why would I actually be doing that while, like, why? You don't have to take action. No. That's a bitch. Okay, hey, nope. Don't be trying to, like, egg him on. People from the chat after you start from random missiles for no reason. I mean, you can time them out if you want. There's different variations of way to do it. But it's more about, like, my, you know, if they're, like, getting on my shit. But if they're, you know, there's, like, you know, some fucking on the mods, so I'm like, hey, you know, I have to be like, you know, they're kind of a part of the equation, too. So. And Joe Morello absolutely torched Chrissy Noem on CNN. Nice. We're now a puppet killer who's afraid of people dressed in a frog and chicken suits. Yeah, I know. She literally looked at the dude in the chicken suit being like, yeah, look at that terrorist. Look at that fucking terrorist commie scum in a chicken suit. While you had, like, literally the most crayon-eating fucking thumb-looking motherfucker with a trim strap beard of a fucking colonel or whatever the fuck. Just it was just like, wow, bro. So fucking pathetic. And I love the contrast of it all. Does it matter when right wingers get on, really? Yeah, especially considering that the far right and fascists outright are pretty much, you know, like running the administration and shit. Yeah, I would think it does a little bit. Hey, what's up? What's up? The Mr. went from fucking Oregon City to goddamn Aberdeen again. Why is he in the middle of the fucking room, sprawled out? I don't understand that. Like, you would think he would be in the corner or something. Look at this. This is ridiculous. He's not even really, like, on anything. He's just in the middle, just there. At least Jazzy's, like, chilling on a bunch of chunkness. Oh, did you respond to chunk because you are a chunk? Vito, you're literally in a ball in the middle of the room.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go down to the shore. What are you going to do down there? I don't know. Play some video games.
What a goof. Hey, buddy. Hi. You want to be up here? Come here. Come here. Come here.
That's a place that lets 16-year-old kids drink. Oh, cool. Yeah, hey, guess who's gonna be there?
So still in fire extinguisher. I've got off the phone. Wait, well, what? Damn.
Wow. Yeah, they do a tour show. He's really impressed. In fact, he goes a little like this.
Oh, Beetle.
Number twice today.
Oh.
Number 2 times girl.
How come every liberal looks like garbage and fills their house up with? Also, frogs are too good creatures to be associated with your whack ass politics, such grass. What? Are you talking about those bags that are like over? Are you talking about like the bags in the background? Those are bottles for a bottle drop.
System down and light fire.
And also, like frogs are associated with us because look at Portland. You have a bunch of fucking frogs dancing around in fucking Portland against ice. So.
Oh, we got a light on in the backyard.
Oh, that was my fault. My bad.
Okay. What's up, guys? What's What's up, guys? Whoopee!
I had a little troll pop in like right when you showed up, as I was trying to, you know, fuck on that ass.
Bruh.
Touch grass, ho ho ho. When I'm literally
Ended
like,
making up about $115 in the end of the night. I'm glad that dude went with his ear. He fucked off because there's just too many people working, and then we
Yeah.
got busy at the night and ended up being a good day.
oh, cool.
Cool.
Well, I
That's the
was
most
trying to fuck on.
unenthusiastic.
Well, because
cool
I'm trying
ever.
to, because
I
I
just got back in my own house, dog. Come on, give me a sec.
Well,
How many
yeah,
hours you been streaming?
not that long, but also I've been, I just fucked on. I've been trying to fuck on a little bit. I know you would have been fucking on him if you
On
heard
the
it.
mod, yeah. I've been policing the chat.
Got a lighter in your room.
No, I
Damn.
don't. I can't be the only one buying us lighters. And
I
shit,
know.
dog.
I thought, well, I need to get butane. I keep forgetting to get it. Pretty sure. Yeah, this one's fine.
Hey, Vito. I don't know what you smelling on my pants.
I smell quartzy. I smell like dough.
Probably.
That smells goodness. You help me repair my door. Would you have to look?
This is exactly how Portland is with Iceland.
I know. Where you find what you're looking for? Breaking down our damn doors.
Dun, dun, dun. I love fucking Afro Man. Lemon pound cake.
Been police all day with tweakers. Damn. Telling us that I. Oh well.
Hey, later tonight when you're not as busy, you want to help me take a bunch of trash recycling?
Yeah.
Not to the curb, but just get it out.
Oh yeah, because it's
Build it up.
fast to do for the curb part, but yeah.
Vito man.
I've noticed that like they gotta do a little more work though, because like on the sides of the sidewalk and all that shit, like there's definitely gonna be some more stuff.
They're
but
not quite done.
almost though. Like,
They got the main part done. What's them wait
At least
weeks
it's dry-
to do the like
I know.
easiest parts.
It took fucking forever.
You want to see a picture of my is it now? To be honest, I mean, despite the homeless person fucking with it, came out pretty good.
It looks fine. It looks fine.
I'm gonna do a quick when I have access, like with the fucking driveway. I'm gonna hook up my
Yeah.
sander real quick.
Yeah.
Get rubbing alcohol, get all the shit off of there, the powder and shit.
Yeah.
And then do one more spray and clear coat. But I think it came out pretty good considering
Yeah.
we overpainted and then
It looks
homeless people fucked with it.
Yeah, it does look pretty good, honestly, all in all.
Very good line. I touched that line up on the back end.
Yeah, I mean, just like I've noticed like there's a one or two spots where
Yeah,
it
right.
kind of
That it leaked
bled.
through. But I can use acetone
Yeah.
on those spots. Or I can tape it off the other direction, stencil it off invertedly, and then paint this side blue.
Yeah.
Where the black part went overlapped.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And get it all back blue. Because it's still fade. You see how it's faded on that spot there.
Yeah.
From all the years.
Oh, Beto. Why you just like sprawl that all over my foot?
What's his name? Harley was nice enough. He offered when I get the hood, he thinks that I should do it in the garage because it'll be warmer, it'll dry better and evener. you won't have wind and like particulates and shit.
Yeah.
So that's pretty nice of him to let me use his space to do the.
That's cool.
So that's cool. He wants to eventually get the truck to be able to roll it out, at least get the carburetor, and then save like $500, take it to a shop and get the brakes done, and then that car will be rolling actually. So that's good. We'll actually have some wheels. He's like, well, I want to get the license and tags, but I don't think I'll be able to afford insurance. I'm like, what? It's like $180 to get your license. Then it's like $250 plus to do the registration. If you have money for that, you should have money for insurance too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And his insurance should be cheap because he's so old and he has a no.
What?
Don't grab her leg like that.
I
Dogs.
barely did that.
They don't like being that. I don't hardly ever do that to them.
I barely ever. I was just like, what is it?
You and Zukov are very leg pulley people. I've noticed Zukov is used to it with you.
Is she stretching? Or her little
That's
feet's all up on me. Like,
Well,
what are you
grabbing
doing?
them versus rubbing them is different.
I wasn't
See,
even
Gabby's
like
giving me that
falling.
look.
It was
She's
just
giving me
a
that
little,
look like,
mm.
Dad, I don't know how I feel.
I was just like doing this little lightly, like me.
No, you pulled. I saw you did a yank.
I wasn't trying to do a little.
I know you weren't, but you did. You're overzealous. It's okay. You didn't mean to hurt no Jazz.
Well, she's still kind of like, I will brace the belly rubs. She's still kind of like, yeah, whatever.
Well, she's smart. She knows you're not trying to hurt
Oh
her.
yeah, you know.
She's gonna be like, Dad, don't feel
I'm
good.
just like a Son Piker. I'm just like an utter, pure, abusive dog owner where I just like shock them and abuse them with collars and.
That's absolutely insane.
Dude, I cannot believe that is actually like a thing where like for multiple days now, and even now, like Hassan is actually kind of rubbing it and being like, "Look how abusive I am to my dogs," and he's just like, "Look at Kaya, you know, just 120-pound plus like gigantic beast of a fluff, a literal teddy bear, just floof." And he's just like, look how I abuse this.
Joyanna, she's kind of cute, but she's kind of young, man. 22. She liked me in Facebook fucking dating. She's kind of young, man. 22. And she got baby face. Like, she looked young, bro.
Well, because she's 22, okay? Like, I mean.
More like, she looked like she's 18, dog. Baby face, you know? I'm not saying she's unattractive, but you know what I mean? She just looks like a child to me.
Well, yeah, well, obviously, being an older person, you want to look younger than you, especially for a significant age, like 22 to like 20, 29. Like,
I guess that is a huge age difference.
Not that big of a gap, but I mean, I can see.
She's got attractive features, bro.
Yeah.
It just looks like my
She's
little
an
sister.
adult, yeah.
She just looks like my little sister. You know what I mean? Like, I love the hair. That's my favorite kind of hair right there. You know, I love the curly hair. All right. Forks Grove. What,
Oh, she's
Brian?
way
Why is
out
Brian
there.
calling me? I just got home from work, bro, and it's like 2:34. It's 2:34 right now. I don't want to deal with this right now. I saw him in the chat. I was gonna say sup back to him. I was gonna be like, "Hey, what's up, bro?" But like, full on phone conversation right after I got off work. I don't know about that, man. That's so random. Like, I haven't talked to him in a minute, and then like,
Oh, because he asked in the chat, like, asked him if I call him catch. Well, yeah, because yeah, obviously maybe not like call him.
we're doing the stream right now. You know what I mean? It's not the best time. I just got off work. Time. I don't know. It's not the best timing. I wasn't really ready for that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
It seems like Brian's doing pretty good lately. So,
Yeah, he's got his own spot, and yeah, like he's like
cheers to that. Cheers.
Yeah. Because him and I happened to quickly catch up on a phone call, earlier today while I was hanging out in Zuzu, shortly after you called actually, and he's doing pretty good, and I'm doing pretty good. He even mentioned like, well, if you want, like, I know I'm gonna visit at some point. I want to at least grab, like, he did mention that the jack stands and stuff he's gonna let you keep, but he wants to at least grab a couple of these other things and that too. But
I mean, I don't need them, man. Like, if he wants to take them and make some extra money on the side with it, it's probably better.
well, hey, I mean, hey, if you want to do that, yeah, that's.
I mean, if I need them, I can borrow them from him, kind of thing.
Well, in a weird way, I think it's probably why he wants to keep them to you. Is to be like, hey, if you want them, you can have them, or if you want, you can sell them or something. I don't know. I have no need for them. Yeah, so if you got no need for them, then there you go. And he maybe in the future, sounds like Logan might, but if anything, he could probably sell them for a little extra side cheddar if he needs,
I'll just hold on to them for him until he does need them, or if I end up having a problem.
Well, what Bryce said is like he overtly mentions like, yeah, I don't need them or want them right now. Like,
right now. At this moment,
he can keep them. He's not so rush for me. Well, it sounds like he's just bring it out or just let him have
man,
it.
if you need to use them for something, you want to help somebody that needs a car, you know what I mean? I know he does that. He'll just help people with their cars on the fly. I don't think that I have anything I need to do on my car that's like where I need to lift it up besides maybe the sway bar.
Yeah.
Which he caught. He did catch the fucking sway bar is basically detached. It needs to be replaced completely. Low key, maybe if I had replaced that, I might have been able to make that curve.
Yeah.
That I ended up sliding.
Right. Yeah.
With the hydroplaning, because he was telling me that kind of helps with the balance, and like when you're turning the body being able to like with the wheels,
You already bought a new set. Oh, because you're in Aberdeen long term now, so you got a new set over there.
Oh, he's already got his shit. Okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, cool. I mean, if Marcus needs Stepan, anybody needs to use them, I guess they're there.
There you go, man. A communal set of jacks.
I did use them for doing my oil change. That was useful. I did use a jack stand.
Well, if anything, I guess it could be if anything, they could be like the communal like jack stand stuff.
It's a good thing I had them because I didn't park my car on a flat level totally. I thought it was flat, but it wasn't. And then when I did it, the jack, because it's on wheels, when I was lifting, the jack wanted to move because it's on wheels.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I need a jack stand in case this shit slips,
Need your bowling ball, though. Head. Oh, yeah. I mean, if anything, the bowling ball, how often was, like, the last time you used it was, like, what, like, a month or so ago? Like, a month and a half, 2 months ago?
I think he was the last to use it. I haven't bowled in a long time.
Well, I know there's one more time where you do with your mom.
That was a long time ago, dog.
Well, that's what I'm saying, like, that 2+ months. Oh, 3.
Last time I bowled was me, you, Marcus, and Brian.
No, there was one time where it was just you and your mom.
That was before. I did that before that day. Remember, it's you, me, Marcus, Brian, and then that one girl.
I remember that. I sure, because I thought there was like...
That was the last time I played, bro. I'm telling you.
I thought there was like one more time after that with just you and your mom. Because there was like one day... I was
planning on it, and it never happened. I was going to go up to...
Oh, you're right. Yeah, because,
I think I got sick or something, and I couldn't see her because I don't want to get her sick.
Well, I could have swore I remember, like, you were about to leave for it, and you were like, hey, you're going to do your, go out and do my thing, and I was like, yep, like...
I decided to do the rafting stuff with Mom instead.
Okay.
Remember I took her to Tualatin with the dogs?
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense, yeah. Because I honestly thought there was one time, at least one more.
I wanted to do both in the same day, but I don't have enough time.
Yeah.
Because my mom goes to sleep so early.
Right, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Once it's like 9, she's done.
Right. Hey, buddy.
Vito, you are a gorgeous boy. I love you so much. You've been such a good boy lately, you know that? Like, rarely you mess up, really. Besides hitting people in the balls and knocking shit over, but that's unavoidable with you.
Yeah, it really is.
Happen.
Especially with me. Sorry, he's trying to make me infertile so he could be, like, unfertile.
Paul 2.0.
Yeah. Instead of all the sisters growing up, it's just dogs. Oh, look at all that. God, You
Grind
big
up
old
more weed.
floof.
I really do think the if you smoke less, especially at night before going to bed, with the cigarette stuff, you smoke more weed, you wouldn't wake up as much GERD because it's going to hit your stomach. It's going to affect your
Yeah.
esophagus. It's going to irritate the
I just know
upper
that a lot of
tissues,
things,
which is GERD is more
I just know
upper,
that
right?
like things with acidity tend to hit me pretty bad too.
But
and
cigarettes are only going to increase the acidity.
I know.
It's not going to make it better.
I ain't saying I ain't making it
It's
better.
a diuretic, so it's gonna make you want to throw up. It's gonna want to make you shit more, you know. But the GERD,
Yeah.
especially, is like an upper GI tract thing. It's not a lower GI tract thing
Yeah.
because the acid, like you said. So
Well, I know at least, especially in a weird way, like it's recently, like
me and you both haven't been the
It's-
healthiest people
well,
lately. I will admit that
yeah,
I could
but
be
I know,
healthier
like,
too. So
in a weird way, recently, like a lot of like the weird upper, like, ooh, I might puke or like feel this weird nauseous feeling. It's like because of like the lower, like
the
digestive.
bubble, you get the gas.
Yeah, but it's just such a raunchy gas where even for me, I'm like, oh fuck, and I have to
Oh, the
like
smell makes you throw up.
it
I
really.
forgot that you do that.
I know, dude. It really
It's
do,
rare
bro.
I smell because I'm smell blind. It's rare that I smell something and I'm like, okay, that stinks where it makes me want to.
Dude, dude, there are certain smells where I'm just like, I can't fucking hang, dude.
Yeah.
I just, even to myself. I mean,
The smell blind is a blessing and a curse.
yeah, a blurs, as it was saying.
People are like, don't you love working at Domino's, like smelling that fresh pizza all the time? I'm like, I can't smell it. I've gone smell blind to every like. It's like I'd have to not been at work for like a week or two before I like walk in
Oh,
the
yeah.
store and I'm like, oh yeah,
Because you're so
Pizza
exposed
oven.
to those certain
Mm.
smells that you're, that
It
your
literally
body
just
just
normal
yeah.
to my body now. Yeah, I don't notice any difference.
Building I'm living in is built 1920. It's the same building that Kurt Cobain lived in.
Oh yeah, he's up in
Aberdeen.
I
Yeah.
thought he was in Oregon City.
He moved up there not that long ago. He never say exactly when, but
Huh.
he moved back up there and
Okay.
doing apartment management apparently and stuff like that. When it comes to
Management?
maintenance. Yeah, maintenance management and stuff.
Okay. Yeah. It was gonna be management. I was like, whoa, that's a big.
Well,
Doing
not full on
maintenance
management,
to
but
management.
like maintenance management. Yeah, but he's doing it up there right now. So,
Nice.
but makes some decent. Yeah, so
No, that's a good job. I was friends with the maintenance man at Fuller. I was friends with the maintenance man at apartments that I lived in for a few years in Gladstone, and like they do make some good money.
Yeah.
The maintenance man I grew up with was Mexican.
he's making
but
like
he was
25
like
an
American
hour, but
Mexican.
he mentioned that like when he was in OC, he was making like 35 an hour. So he's just
Probably
knows-
because they
in Washington
more busy.
But also, you don't have to pay like fucking property land tax and stuff like that. There are
In
certain
Washington?
taxes. Yeah, there's certain taxes. Unlike in Oregon, that you don't got to pay at all. So
And
in
their
a way,
income tax is better than ours too. We
yeah,
get taxed more on income tax
So
because of the sales
the
tax. though.
taxes actually make
Wait. What's the sales tax in Aberdeen? Because I know in Vancouver it's 8.4, whereas in like Seattle it's
yeah,
like
because
13.
I know it does vary. Yeah, from
Depends
like
on where
county
you
and
live.
city, it
Yeah.
does vary. Yeah.
What's the tax in Aberdeen? Hilltop Hoods.
Yep.
Oh, there's a group I want to show you called Bobbin. Like bobbing your head.
Oh.
It's like a weird. Vito, what are you getting into over here?
Tax, I'm not sure. So he doesn't really know sure about the sales tax. Well, if you happen to know, let me know. Yeah, let me know. Then
I'll look it up real quick.
yeah. Actually, yeah, we could just look it up. I'll use your old phone. Let's use quicker.
My old phone.
Well, no, this is actually his.
Oh yeah, his.
It's quicker than that other one, to be honest.
8.8%.
8.8. Oh yeah, it says right here too.
It's a little higher.
A little bit, yeah, not too bad.
Because so it has the normal statewide 6.5 rate, but the Gary's Harbor County adds another 2.3% for local tax.
Yeah.
So the county, they add their own taxes on top of state tax. I
Yep.
didn't realize that. What's Seattle? Curious. So it's higher in Aberdeen than in Vancouver. It's kind of surprising. Vancouver's like a bigger city, I feel like. Oh, it's only 10.35 in Seattle. I thought it was way higher.
Huh. That's awesome. It sucks, but tobacco down here is hella cheap. Yeah, because I don't think there's a tobacco tax, but Oregon does have one.
Yeah. Which I'm actually okay with.
Yeah, I'm fine with it too.
It makes people smoke less and therefore less disease and, just overall healthier society. People like, whether they do it intentionally or not, like your dad, I bet he smokes less cigarettes now than he did before the tax.
Well, also just because he's just a poor bitch.
But that does help in the long term save some people's lives. Kind of saving themselves from themselves kind of thing,
Yeah.
Like, there's a certain rate that your body could probably smoke, and not get cancer. But once you go past that for a long enough period,
Well, yeah, definitely. There's an tax on down here, but like $4 a can of chew down here.
Oh, wow, that is cheap.
Yeah, that is cheap as shit. And it's like double the price up here, even in the more cheaper areas or cheaper stores.
After the stream, I want to show you that Bobbin band, the new coworker Miguel.
I know, just show right now,
show
honestly, because if
Bobbin.
anything, I'll probably wrap it up here after this last little bubba. And
It's like half Polyphia, half lo-fi. It's a weird kind of group.
yeah, I figured, after this little bowl, after your little Rocket League match, you chill.
Bobbin, SoundCloud.
Ugh. We're gonna offer a decent amount of time.
Okay.
Burp, burp.
Bobbin Head
Nice.
music. I think that's what it is.
Did you? Let's go good for now and do a little bit close.